packing all my things and leave again, yeah. And get lost in all I see. All that neon goes on till dawn, leading to an empty dream again, yeah. Facing nights in the morning, white lies are fading in, waiting for a sign that takes me back to the beginning, eh. No time for guilt or pleasure, you know I can't do that. I wish that I knew better, 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 you're still waking up and compiling, but I know you know we won't make it. Packing all my things and leave again, yeah. And get lost in all I see. All that neon goes on till dawn, leading to an empty dream, 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 dream.
Hello and welcome to the Dota Pro Circuit, where we are here with the final region on the final week. That's right, all the chips are going to fall into place over the course of this week, and we will finally know the final teams headed to the major and headed to the wildcards, and also who's being relegated down to that lower bracket, and it all kicks off today. But Nomad, I hear you say, what happened last week? Well, thankfully for you, we've got a lovely little recap video to get you up to speed.
It would be a 4v5 that really doesn't favor them at all. And again, they pop the Lincolns. They've got the stun. They'll hit the Aether Remnant, locking up MS for a long time. Katyu goes in and drops a Magnetize down, but is it going to be enough? They get the kill to Katyu, or onto Kaka, who then they lose Katyu, and look over at Ollie's. They lose both their supports. They have the stun on Irving, as well as the Abyssal Blade used onto X. They'll take out the Storm and follow that with an Irving kill, as MS looking like he's going to die. He bought back, and it is GG called, and IG will take game one.
This might be it. Magma has one more fight. They don't manage to kill multiple heroes in this one. The game pretty much just ends. Astra's gonna repeat that on a mid lane. Let's see the initiation. Lanham, he's in. Godlike for White Album. I'm doing play-by-play. B-Cup.
Yeah, they're going in onto this Timber Saw. They get the kill on a TZY. It's good play-by-play. I think, you know, you might want to...
I might reconsider.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the GG call. Astra, they take game one. It looks pretty simple overall.
Razor getting pulled in.
Yeah, Aether Remnant lands onto the Razor. They're going to go to the back lines with Red Panda, but I don't think that's going to work. And now the Arena, as well as the Spear that lands onto Sandis. Requiem comes in with BKB's being popped by both the TA as well as this Troll. Going in, trying to get a kill here on Erica, bashing him up and rooting him. He's in so much trouble. The Shackles come in. Eurus is gone. Old 11, he's a shared bounty, but Erica follows suit as Somnus gets the kill there, but it's not going to be much more than that. They've got the Hex, they've got the kill, they'll take out Somnus, and the rest cannot fight without those two. It is going to be a tough exchange. They'll go after DY, they'll at least get the Elder Titan. Now the Shackle comes in on a FY, no way to stop PYW. The Hex to follow it up, and Red Panda's gone too. Got everybody up for one last fight. Maybe they can take something and come out ahead. But that's not exactly the easiest of tasks ahead of them. They'll move forward. They've got the break on a Chalice. Viper Strike is used, so now he's hit with the Walrus Punch and immediately just dispatched from the fight. They're going to bring the Broodmother in, who's hit with the Abyssal Blade. Down goes Ajit. He's got no buyback, and GG will be called. LGD take game one in a simple one.
Certainly some convincing series last week and some slightly spicy ones as well as we gear up into the final week here. Of course, my name is Nomad. I'm going to be your host for today, and joining me on the panel to take you through the seas of Chinese Dota, we've got our Dota Wizard Lizard and our Dota Snack Black, guys. Wow. I mean, that's quite a nice shirt, Lizard.
Thank you.
Have you ever bought a shirt which is the right size for you?
No.
As kid.
Why would you?
As kid, maybe I you know, it was cool to buy oversized ones, and now I'm overcompensating in the future. You know, that's.
I feel very envious of our 4K viewers right now. Why don't, for those guys, why don't you just point up at that light up there? For
Which one? That light?
No, the other one. The other one.
Which that light?
Ooh. Very nice. Anyway, let's get back in the zone. Black. We got a game coming up today. We got EHOME versus LBZS. What are your predictions coming into it?
My predictions, of course, is going to be EHOME. They're just, you know, they might have not had the best run so far, but they're still, in my book at least, much better than Magma as well as LBZS. Also for EHOME, it's very important. If they don't win this game, then there's a three-way tiebreaker, I believe, with LBZS and Magma, which I still think they should come out ahead of. But, you know, why make it hard if you can make it easy for yourself?
True enough, true enough. And there have been some changes to the EHOME roster, and I believe we are playing with Sylar today on the side of EHOME instead of Arjit. Not 100% confirmed yet, but we will see. Actually, you can see the players
I see
over
the
there.
lobby right now.
Yeah, but you can't.
It is Sylar.
It is Sylar, yeah.
So he has a smiley face.
So we'll have Sylar here for EHOME playing, standing in, maybe replacing Arjit completely. Yesterday or 2-3 days ago, he played versus IG together with EHOME. And remember, this IG is top of the group right now, top of the Chinese DPC league, and they lost. They lost to EHOME. They lost to EHOME. That's reinforced by Sylar, and this same scenario repeats itself that we've seen in SEA, in which 23 Savage replaces Drew. Suddenly, Boom looks much stronger, sadly for them, and sadly for EHOME, it's a little bit too late. When it comes to the DPC, at least.
Yeah, we can, of course, have a look at those standings and see exactly where EHOME are sitting right now. And unfortunately for them, it is quite near the bottom, tied up with Team Magma for that 6th/7th place. Not where they want to be, but a win today against LBZS would put them ahead by 1 game, which would be big for them. And Magma have a slightly harder matchup coming up later for them as well, and it's unlikely they'll be able to take that victory. But you never know. Meanwhile, at the top, we got IG, as you mentioned, sitting 6-0. Astra and Vici hot on their tails with 5-1. And Elephant and LGD, the two struggling in the middle with 3-3. But as we said, Elephant, they've got the slightly easier matchup. LGD, they've got to play against Vici, so it's pretty tough for them. But all in all, very, very interesting in this region. Nothing set in stone quite yet, but it's looking like we're generally knowing who's kind of settling where, especially with some of these last week matchups. But let's get into this series. So, EHOME, you know, they did beat IG, but how much stock can you really put into a game that's not on the DPC, Black?
And really not all that much, because I think everybody, what's the word? Unanimously agrees that DPC is the most important, because you're playing for Major, and then after the Major playing for TI as well, so racking up these points is more important than ever. So, yeah, probably when you're IG, you were maybe at like 50% in the other tournament, if even. And yeah.
And if you're EHOME, you're 1000%.
Yeah, they needed that.
You're playing much better than you usually are. You're playing with change as well. And remember, that last series that we watched from EHOME, they were done. It wasn't only Ajit on the Brood Mother on that mid lane. We don't have it confirmed yet, but just seeing the pattern, seeing the way they played in that last series, in which you have one player going for Midas, another player going for Midas, your carry going for Battle Fury. These players on this level, they understand itemization better than any of us over here, and they understand what they're doing. And that's a clear sign of some tilt happening. So they needed the win versus IG with a change, and I believe they'll come guns blazing in this game as well.
Yeah, poor Arjit did have to be the sacrificial opponent because it was clearly a team issue, but, you know, when there's weaknesses and you need a change, then one of those weaknesses has to be addressed. And hopefully this is going to result in a second win for this team, which we expected to do well coming into this. We really did expect them to be doing better than this, and they have disappointed, unfortunately. And other teams have not. But let's talk a little bit about LBZS, because this team, they are yet to win a game. That's a problem.
Yeah, they have been steadily improving, at least. The last series they played was probably the best Dota they've played throughout the entire season. So there is definitely hope for them. It's just a little bit unfortunate that they, if they lose this game, will have to show that in the lower division. And this game is going to be really, really tough again. Newest edition of QQQ, as well as Sylar. EHOME looks very upgraded.
But to hype this match up a little bit further from reality, they have MS, they have Irving, who has been playing out of his mind on this offlane. Some Pangoliers just hacking and slashing through enemy lines. And meanwhile, yeah, they are losing in DPC. In other tournaments, they're winning. They actually won one of them. They won the Moon Studio event 3-0, easy finals. Also, they won versus Neon. They won versus Execration 2-0, 2-0. So this is their best ever form, right? Since we've been watching them for like a couple of months now. However, back to reality, back to black. They're playing versus Sylar and QQQ. It's
two legends of the Chinese scene, two titans to come up against here. But the strongest blades are forged in the hottest fires, and not winning a single game yet. Well, it's time for that retribution. If they take one game in this series, then it's going to be a huge moment for this team, and maybe, just maybe, we can see them do it. There's a possibility there. And they also have the best logo in the region, I would say. They're happy little sun, and if they ever get sad that they're not winning any games, they can just look down at their shirt and be like, oh, little son, happy little guy smiling back up at them, and everything will feel okay. Let's talk matchups, Lizard. Who do you want to talk about today?
No, the guy that I mentioned already, when it comes to LBZS, you have two players that everyone is talking about. Like, you don't really have a lot. You have Irving and you have Katyu. These two, obviously not head-to-head matchup comparisons. On the other side, you have Chalice, that also deserves a mention. But Irving so far has been the outstanding performer on the side of LBZS. And he usually has a good game. So you can't say if he has a good game, they're going to win. Everyone needs to step up a little bit and play on his level. Like some of those Pango performances from him have been the best I've seen in the teams of their caliber, let's put it that way.
Yep, let's have a look at that player versus player graphic between Irving and Chalice and see exactly how they compare up to each other when it comes to those statistics. And the interesting things here definitely going to be like they match up pretty well in most things. However, when it comes to GPM and tower damage, that's where Chalice stands out, mostly down to that hero pool,
but other three, if you look at Irving, like lane performance is better, hero damage is actually better, and kill participation as well is better for a team that hasn't won a single game yet. That's quite,
Yeah, really does kind of hammer home your point that Irving is really kind of trying to win these games more than anyone else. He's actually in this and really looking to get noticed. And I think as a team like LBZS, you could say like they are here to make a name for themselves. And if they can do that, then that's a victory for these individual players. And I think XM's the other one we need to look at from this team as well. You did mention him briefly. He has occasionally stepped up in that laning phase. He hasn't been as impressive as we would have liked, but he is one of the top players in the Chinese region when it comes to MMR. How does that translate, though, into competitive gameplay, Black?
I mean, matchmaking games are always very different because, at least from what I've seen and I've experienced, it's about how well you can win, pub games, usually by yourself, because team play is not really very high in those games. Everybody is really in it for themselves. And yeah, I mean, we can see it in the games. He is usually doing quite okay when it just comes to 1v1s, but when teams start rotating on him, he doesn't quite know how to deal with that. And just overall, he seems to be quite a bit behind in terms of experience and the game knowledge, which is quite obvious, of course. But he, give him like another half year or so maybe, he can become one of the best too.
I would just add that being top 50, top 25, it means something, but not a lot. But being top 1, being ranked 1, that stays with you. And just saying that when he gets that rank 1, he suddenly feels like a completely different player because you have the crown. You have a mini crown, and it gives you like plus 100% damage or something. In the game.
But we have seen some top 1s,
slip away,
quite drastically suddenly. Wait, wasn't he top 1 before? The top 150 the next month? Like, what happened?
Sometimes top 1, sometimes top 100, then back to top 1. It's
the cycle of MMR.
The cycle of MMR is a strange
recycling.
What do you think about, though, like the MMR system right now and how it's kind of like not being refreshed? Do you think it's causing like an inflation where like
super inflated?
The numbers just start to get a little bit silly.
Yeah,
like, what have we got, like
it's
12K
really inflated.
now? It's insane.
12K.
Like.
yeah, there's just no end to it. Like at this rate, maybe he's going to be 13K soon, you know? Like I don't want to undermine his achievement. It's a great achievement, the best we've ever had. There's no other 12K player out there. It's just numbers like these should not exist.
Yeah, because we're not in ELO system anymore. Back in the day when you had proper, well, more or less proper ELO in a way in which, okay, you can be 10K, but if you're playing at such an advantage of MMR on your side of the team, you're going to lose a lot if you lose.
Yeah, you lose like 40.
Yeah, you lose like 40, and you win like 3 MMR, which might not be as satisfactory for players. That's the problem. I think they're catering to the player base. They're trying to make us all feel a little bit better from winning, right? And a little not as bad, because winning 3 MMR and then losing 40, why are you playing? It feels bad. You understand?
Got to win 13 games to make that up again.
Yep.
13-1 win versus loss is a tricky thing to maintain. That's what I just feel bad knowing that someone out there has 3 times my MMR. I mean, that is
Yeah, it's crazy
brutal
to think about. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the two teams in a head-to-head comparison when it comes to those statistics then and see exactly how they match up. And as we mentioned, LBZS, you know, they haven't been finding the victories right now. So that win graph of theirs looking not so hot as they've been struggling to really close any games out. Meanwhile, EHOME looking much, much better. They are on top, and across the board, really, a very consistent team when it comes to being able to actually close out games, but very inconsistent when it comes to performance and whether they can actually build the right items and complete their strategies out in a meaningful way, and I think that's their biggest weakness right now. LBZS, you know, we've talked a lot about how they're a team which does well early on. Is there a way they can capitalize upon that to turn that into a cheeky win?
It's tough. Like in mid game, it's really all about just team movements, like team strategy, you know, and that's usually where they fall flat. After the laning phase is when Dota really begins. So to really crush a game, you need to crush all 3 lanes, which is not something we have seen them do yet. They have won 2 lanes occasionally, but usually it's they win 1 lane, go even in 1 lane, lose 1 lane, like the standard cookie cutter thing.
And we actually haven't seen many teams even dominate 3 lanes and then just go ahead and own.
That's a very interesting
That's
purple.
a very interesting graph. They're pretty evenly matched, except when it comes to GPM, where LBZS just gets smashed into the ground.
They're smashed by 122 though. That's the difference. 100 GPM.
Yeah, and then it comes to tower damage as well, and they're like over double.
Yeah, okay, tower damage is definitely a problem.
Yeah.
It's something that we've seen from LBZS and Magma.
Lane performance, they're both quite down the gutter.
Yep. So my point was, for LBZS, winning the lanes and that mid game might not be as important as getting the right win condition and going late game with that win condition. That feels more like something that they might capitalize with and take the W, but it's going to be extremely difficult for them to do so because EHOME is obviously very experienced, even though they are in a position in which they are right now. They're a much stronger team.
But I have bad news. LBZS usually has quite good drafts. Sometimes even outdraft the opponent, but against QQQ, that's gonna be difficult. His last 4 drafts have been absolutely perfect, and yeah, so they will have to dig into that rabbit, or rather hat, and you know, find
The
something.
rabbit hat and find. What would you possibly find in a rabbit hat by?
I don't know. I love Bugs Bunny personally, so.
Did you? He probably is referring to the one in which Bugs Bunny is a magician, right? And he is taking out of that hat.
Rabbit.
I remember, yeah.
Takes a fellow rabbit out of the hat.
Takes a rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah,
It's meta.
it's old school though.
Very old school.
Very old school.
Feels pretty, I don't know, I want to say cannibalistic, that's kind of a bit harsh, but, you know, like...
It's not cannibalistic. You're not taking out a dead rabbit.
Yeah,
it's just a rabbit.
true.
He was a very cute and very lively rabbit. He was jumping around.
And to be honest, back in that day, even if you do take out a dead rabbit, no one would care. We kids.
True.
We watched different cartoons. Kind of. It was a bit different.
That's like how they used to do the bird trick, where they'd like have a bird in a box and then and then it would be in like your hat or something, but and then they'd show the box and the box would be empty. Yeah, they did that though.
Would they kill them? Probably.
Yeah, there'd just be like
suppose,
a trap door and the box would just slam down and squish the bird, and so it was like
That's
under the
that's
bottom.
so sad.
Holy
actually.
shit.
Yeah,
Dark.
yeah. So you see like those old-timey videos of magicians doing their thing. They're just like killing loads of animals for fun. It's
For
well,
fun.
for not for
And
fun.
there's a bunch of kids at like some 5-year-old
Yeah,
girl's
literally,
birthday
literally.
party. Yay!
They-
bird disappeared.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's
Yeah, we don't. Thankfully, I think we're past that part now. But I did have a question about LBZS, but the recent line of conversation has drifted me off the conversation trail. But these two teams, obviously, not so evenly matched, and also I feel like EHOME are going to be kind of, I don't know, like the fire is going to put in them because they've just seen that QQQ is not taking prisoners. You know, if you mess up, you're gone. Ajit, he's been thrown out. They know like they're not.
The question is how much QQQ actually has in power to do
Dude,
something.
I saw his
ruining my
face.
narrative, Lizard.
After game 1, I saw his face. He was like super black. What do you guys want from me? I drafted these heroes.
And you
And
don't
you mess
play
up?
them. You buy 2 Midas's Battle Fury.
Ridiculous. What happened?
He's making an example.
And
He's-
then he goes like big and green.
I mean, QQQ.
He's
I've
intimidating.
seen them running around that booth. Obviously, it's a LAN there, and we have some cameras that you guys don't. We have some vision that you don't, and we've seen them run around the booth after losing a game.
Now it makes sense because Xnova and Ajit aren't there. He was like, you guys, get extra punishment because he can't check if they're actually running or not.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He probably follows. Maybe as Jit, he tried to.
A GoPro.
Yeah. Xnova has a GoPro on his head to make sure he's running those laps. Meanwhile, as Jit, he tried to cheat it. He
Yeah,
he
put it on his
pre-recorded.
dog and then just
He
threw a
pre-recorded the
sausage.
video or something, and because QQQ was like,
I see that.
I see you.
Get out of here. I need a
Get
player
out.
I can punish. Get in Sylar. Do we know if Sylar's actually there? I guess we don't. Like
he is.
physically on land.
On land? Probably not.
Probably
right?
not.
Probably it'd be pretty tricky to get him over there and
They're
test
all
and
in the
everything 'cause they're
bubble and
bubble
yeah.
probably unlikely and
It's-
such short notice. But yeah, I mean, Sylar as a player though, what can we expect from him? Like, what kind of heroes does he bring to the pool?
Unless he's Lycan, a lot of farming. If he's Lycan, a lot of farming and a lot of killing. Like, if he is on Lycan, he plays very well with the team, usually. But when he's not on Lycan, he's like on a hardcore like TB or AM Morphling.
Morphling, Jug.
Then he will be hitting those creeps a lot.
Actually, versus IG, they played with PA, they played with Morphling, and I believe Lycan as well was in there. So these kind of heroes we might expect. Nothing really extraordinary.
He's very stable.
Yeah,
Very
and every carry right now, you have a set amount of heroes that you need to be playing. You need to be versatile with like 10 heroes pretty much on carry, and that's it, right? No, not even 10 maybe at the moment.
So how does that going to affect the team dynamic then compared to how Ajit played?
Probably the same. Ajit was very greedy himself. It's just he lacked that stability factor. Like, you couldn't just let him play 4 Protect 1 and then think, yeah, like, we're going to win this game no matter what.
And that affects your morale, right? Like you're
then
feeling
your
it.
off laner starts playing greedy,
Yeah.
and your mid laner starts playing greedy because everybody thinks, we need to do it ourselves. And
Like
Yeah.
one thing that I've seen in the IG series when Sylar came in is that XM plays much better now. Suddenly, when you look at XM, you see some very good scores, like 11-1 or whatnot. So
which is what we expected
Yeah.
to begin with, because he was top 1 MMR. And if you're there, you're really good mechanically at the very least,
Yeah.
which he did not show.
you're the best. If you're top 1, you're just
Yeah.
you get the crown.
What happened to yours though?
My crown?
Yeah.
It's in the closet. I'm
Oh, I
I'm
see, I
keeping
see.
it for all time's sake.
Gathering dust.
Gathering dust. Yeah, never
Love
gonna
that.
never gonna wear it again. But
All right.
what? Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I have people coming in and asking like, what would it take for you to get back that rank 1? Like, it's so out of reach. It would be so difficult. It's insane.
What's changed since when you're at the top?
Everything from the meta, from me being enthusiastic about playing and not tilting ever and leading the team. You have to, like, there are some sacrifices that you have to take. Black probably knows
A
at
lot
his
of
rank
them,
as
yeah.
well. A lot of exercises.
Exercises. Yeah.
Exercises.
Exercises, blimey, I didn't
Yeah.
know
Mental
that.
exercises.
You can't exercise as much. That's one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly that would be an issue. Let's take a look at the hero pools between the two teams and see exactly what they've been picking, what they have been not picking. And any surprises here? I mean, the crossover zone, pretty similar for every team, I feel, so far.
Yeah, I mean, overall, most of the heroes that the teams in China pick are very similar. Like, they have their own developed meta. And they like their team fights. And they like their disables.
I do find it interesting that EHOME have been playing with the Abaddon and LBZS has not. It does feel like this Abaddon's kind of been very popular in the upper echelons of the Chinese region. Popularized, of course, originally by Lanham, and now everyone seems to be taking note of that and trying to make it work as well. Originally seems to be thought of as an answer to this Puck and a couple of other disabling mid laners.
Yeah, you have some heroes here that aren't picked as much anymore, but have been picked by these teams at the beginning.
Because we, of course, had a little patch.
A little patch
Middle,
happened.
yeah.
Little baby patch.
Yeah, but back to your Abaddon point, though, the
Patchlet.
hero is really hard to make work. Well, like it's so hard to make the hero work properly. Like we have seen a lot of teams run it, but only really Lanham was successful with it.
It does feel really strong. If you're looking for a position 5 in pubs, though, it feels pretty legit.
Yeah, you run around, you curse people.
It's just some of these heroes like Abaddon, Oracle, Omni-Knight when he's good. It's very difficult for pubs to deal with them. Because
But at the same time, it's also not a hero which can make plays. And, you know, if your
you're a
team's like
5. If you,
I mean, you say that, but Lanham just runs middle with him.
True.
5 Abaddon and just ganks the mid lane. And he's like, okay, I'm here. What do you want?
Sometimes all you need is a hero that runs in and tanks the tower, and Abaddon can't do that.
And
with
right
the
clicks,
shield.
yeah.
And right clicks.
just running, screaming, face tank everything. That's a very valid way to play. It sounds like a black hero to me.
I love carry Abaddon. That's my thing. Like you run in, you can't die.
You have some SA blood in you, I see. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a mix of everything at this point, really. Like
You're just a cultural fountain.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in SA for a good half year. You know, when I played with Infamous, so I definitely got some inspiration there.
There you go. That's it.
I lived in China, lived in NA. I got all of it coming together. Right
So
now, my clone is being in the lab. He's being worked on. So give it a little bit
Who's
of time.
cloning you?
I mean, who isn't cloning me?
Oh, I see.
That's
Is
the
it like the same way with quantum computing? You know, everyone's racing to try and get the first black clone out there.
Yes.
Is that because were you the first one to beat the AI bot?
Multiple times in a row. Yes.
I see.
Yes,
So
yes.
consistently beat him.
Yes.
Right. So like all those guys from Open
AI.
they're like, the
So
next
there's
thing's
fr-
going to
there's-
be 5 blacks.
I mean, they did message me. They were like,
Exactly. There's
next
probably
time
some
it's not
organization. Yeah.
yeah, next time it's not going to be as easy. I was like, we'll see. about
Considering what the prize pool of TI this year would be, like you can actually set aside a couple of millions, make a couple of blacks, form a team. They've already beaten AI. He has that.
But what happens when they start arm wrestling each other?
that. Everybody wins.
Nobody wins.
No, but you know, like I might be out of my prime, you know, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Alrighty, guys. We do have some technical issues, unfortunately, and some delays. Of course, it is a LAN setting, therefore, you know, those old complications we have gotten unused to during this online period have come back to haunt us. But fear not, as hopefully we will be back in the game shortly with game number 1 between EHOME and LBZS. So make yourselves comfortable, grab yourselves a snack, and maybe tune into the 4K stream on YouTube, as we are going to throw it over to a short break, after which we shall be back with this series. Sit tight. Hello and welcome back to the Dota Pro Circuit, where we are here in the Chinese region, brought to you by Perfect World, and we are just about waiting for LBZS versus EHOME to start. EHOME, the favoured in this matchup. They have been doing a little bit better since they got Sylar on the team, and we're looking forward to seeing them in a new second wind form. And meanwhile, LBZS, no changes there, still the same old team, and unfortunately haven't been able to take a game yet in the DPC. They're looking to change that today. Can they do it? Maybe not. It's going to be tough, but we're here to find out. I want to ask you guys a question, though. If you could change one player from LBZS for any other player in the world, who would it be? And let's pretend there's no communication differences here. And Black, you're not allowed to say yourself. And Lizard, you're not allowed to say Black either.
Maybe I'd put myself in.
Damn
no,
it.
I won't.
You made it easy for him.
Yeah.
Like, why am I being banned, but he's not?
I mean, for some reason, I didn't think
I'd
Lizard's
change.
ego was that
I
big.
change like 4 LBZS players for 4 of my
No,
clones.
one player. One player.
One
Not
player.
you.
Yeah, but it's still one player. It's just same
Oh,
person.
multiplied.
Yeah,
Well,
multiplied.
I
It's
guess
the
that's
same
technically
person.
true.
It's the set of same things.
Okay, but in no clones. Okay, not allowed to choose yourself.
You're
Hey,
putting too much pressure on me.
LBZS is playing with a stand-in too. They're playing with Rogi.
Oh.
He is
But
SEA
they're
player
not-
as well.
I would put Rogi as a stand-in.
Well, have I got news for you, Lizard? Wow, that's interesting. So
Yeah.
choosing to change things up. I mean, we've seen a lot of teams doing this in the final few weeks of the DPC across every region. They do seem to be swapping it up at the last minute just to try and squeeze out a cheeky win.
Was he in the lobby before, or does one player just have connectivity issues?
No,
No, they all 5 on LAN, right?
Yeah,
LBZS?
they should
Yeah,
be.
they said it's
Oh, and then one guy. Whew, that's spicy, right?
That's some. You come into the booth, you know, you all sit down, and then suddenly.
By the way, you're
Bro,
not playing.
You're not playing. Get
Where's
the
my
hell out.
keyboard?
Tournament organizers, my keyboard is gone.
About that.
They call security to get him out.
Yeah, no explanation. The team's just like trying to avoid eye contact at all costs. Man, that is an awkward situation to be in.
Unless they spoke about it, which I'm sure they did. Like, there's no
Well,
way you can't,
yeah.
right? At that point, yeah.
Obviously, they spoke about it, had the conversation.
Spoke about it.
Yeah.
This is the right moment, right? Like right.
This is the right moment.
This
right
is the
now.
right moment just before the game
Couple of minutes.
starts. No. What I meant is at the end of the league, before open qualifiers, before anything, so players have a little bit of time to maybe form a different stacks and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's a little bit, you know.
This should be the last shuffle before TI. Like, logistically speaking, even though it sucks for the players so hard to lose, especially teams which are supposed to be qualifying to the major, they get kicked out for a new player. It really does suck, but due to the system we have in place right now, this is the best time to do it.
I
Doing
just
it
hope
any later would screw them over even worse.
I just hope they change something and they actually give us an open qualifier for TI.
I know. Like, just 2 TIs ago, OG won from being the open qualifier team.
Exactly.
Like,
And
taking
TI
that away. Man.
TI, it's like it's like hitting the lottery, right? Winning TI. That's really what it is. And giving everyone a chance to buy that ticket and go into the
It feels like that's kind of like the nature of Dota and always has been. To me.
I mean, a lot of players just wanted to, experience. Oh, if you run into my favorite players, it's going to be such a fun game. Like they have no hope of winning. They just want to enjoy themselves. They can't
I
take
love
it away
covering
from
those
them.
games as well. The open court, just watching people like absolutely slaughter like some poor little teams like EG just smashing on some 2Ks. Like, whoa.
like I'm saying this right now, and it's really nice to have an open qualifier, but playing it as a team that's expected to win like first 11 games is
It's
so
nerve-wracking,
annoying.
yeah.
It's nerve-wracking.
Because all BO1s, suddenly the enemy picks like silence on Meeple, you're like, ah!
Yeah.
But then you still win 50-0. You're just worried for nothing.
So, going back into this draft,
IO Pango.
IO Pango picked, and the bans are also very important. EHOME banned out Grimstroke, something that LBZS plays on 5 a lot, and on 4, but also this Enigma. Enigma, why? You might ask yourself. They played Enigma
Why?
mid. They played Enigma mid versus, I'm not sure, Execration, I believe, in the last, or SMG in the last tournament, and they won with it, so
Good.
very flexible. Meanwhile, they also steal away Irving's Pango, so EHOME, QQQ already doing research and just opening well.
And Grimstroke is also banned, of course, one of the best heroes against Pango. So, no worries there. Elder Titan, not the biggest fan against Pango. I feel like this arm just completely owns Elder Titan.
IO plus Elder Titan
It's
is a solid lane, yeah.
Really solid.
So Timber off lane, And Pango 4, I'd assume.
Huh.
Makes a lot of sense. Like, Elder Titan, Io can pressure you a lot, but once you reach level 3, you're not going to die in that lane.
Really? Even against the Overcharge and Astral combo?
Early on, they can take you down.
Yeah,
Later
I mean,
on,
Pango's going to be there. Like, you're going to get some disarm procs. It's not that easy to fight against this Timber Pango lane.
And there he is, the man himself.
Yeah.
Cute,
He looks a
cute.
lot more relaxed now also.
And he does not look relaxed at all, but certainly more
No, he
relaxed than
does,
he
he
looked
does.
last time.
Yeah, he does. Trust me.
Oh, okay.
I know him very well.
I see.
I know him the best.
what did he teach you?
What
How-
didn't he teach me? Like, when I joined VG, I was like known for my like GPM efficiency, like being really fast at farming, but I was terrible at everything else. And then about 3-4 months with him,
So,
I became an actual beast because like he made me be able to use all that farm for my team. Yeah, you know, map awareness, map movement, prioritizing like your team over yourself, these kind of things. He taught me everything.
Lion mid, Oracle mid as well.
No,
that's
he
all
didn't teach
his.
me that. He said
All from
he said stop doing your stupid things. But then he picked me carry Brewmaster. I was like, okay, bro, you tell me not to do it, and you do it.
Yeah, it sounds, that carry Brewmaster sounds like a last resort, you know. Like, here you go, something, you have to pop that ulti and fight. You can't just go and farm.
It was good. It was good. Had a good time with him. Oh, and there. Oh, Sylar is at the line actually. That is Sylar. Is that
Wow.
Sylar? I believe that's Sylar.
That should be Sylar.
Yeah, it's definitely Sylar.
Yes.
He looks a bit different though. It's way longer hair now than before.
We would have those
I mean,
blonde streaks in it.
it's COVID, you know, we have no barber shops open, so it's understandable.
It looked pretty well trimmed to me. I thought it was a dashing hairstyle, personally.
He's considered pretty handsome in China too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see why.
Sylar is really good looking.
Here they call him the Chinese lizard.
Indeed, I've heard that many times as well.
Yeah, I haven't heard that, but
The rumors are everywhere, man.
Yeah.
sure.
I know you can't speak Chinese, so you won't know, but now you know.
If I didn't know, now I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the draft. To one thing that I do know, they banned out the Gyro and Viper on the side of EHOME.
They certainly did.
Yeah, that break is always handy.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be broken.
Nobody likes to be broken, yeah.
Damn, that's deep. Is that the name of your first song on your new album, Black?
Nobody likes to be broken. Yeah, on the other side we saw Lycan, Storm, and Void Spirit. Very mid-targeted. 3 mid-heroes banned. Oh, there we go, mid-lion. Let's go. Super good against Io. You relocate in, you finger both.
Sometimes a coach teaches you, but a coach can get coached as well. And Black,
I was on a call with him.
he has transcended.
Yeah.
I see. The coach has become the coached.
Yeah, just 15 minutes ago I was on a call with him. I was like, yo,
So EHOME
should
will
pick a lion
lose.
mid. Oh, Rubik.
Oh, Rubik mid versus the.
Dude, I
Lion
hate
mid.
playing lion against Rubik, so no more mid lion, I believe.
Yeah, whatever you steal is pretty good. That mana drain even feels pretty solid. But
Yeah, that
Hex
full screen
Impale,
mana drain.
Rubik right now isn't picked as much as I would like to. Hero is still pretty solid.
I mean, he always just like
Yeah.
blocks so many heroes. Like, there's so many heroes you don't feel comfortable picking against Rubik. And Lion is definitely one of them.
It's not even bad versus Timber and Pango, right? Like stealing that Rolling Thunder is quite easy. Same, whatever you steal versus Timber is nice.
Yep.
So
Lots
you can
of
turn it against
Potential
him.
there.
Oh.
And Ricky. Yep. Rubik hates Ricky. Elder Titan hates Ricky.
Same with Wisp. Hates Ricky loves playing into these heroes
Yeah.
that he can get on top of.
Except Io has 550 movement speed. So
If he's
Yeah.
carry, right? If he's actual, which he should be.
He should
with,
be, yeah.
with
This
ET
looks
and
like.
Rubik here, yeah. That should definitely be your position 1 IO.
So
I
now
feel like
Underlord. Let's go.
if LBZS win TI, then they should definitely turn their logo into the IO Arcana. Wouldn't that be great?
No.
Little
Slardar.
happy sunshine running around?
No, 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 no.
This is actually
Yeah.
a pretty good draft from LBZS right now. It's
I'd like it.
It's very solid.
My
Like
Slaughter's good against Ricky, but
it's really good with IO in the mid.
Slaughter is scared against of Timber and Pangle, you know.
The thing is, once you get that BKB on Slardar and you have this IO as a core, you already have your... What's really good about this LBZS's draft is that you have different partners for IO at different parts of the game. In the laning stage, you have Elder Titan, that's really good. Slardar afterwards and throughout the whole game is really solid. So overall, I dig it. I like it.
So it's a polygamous IO this game.
Yep.
Good stuff.
It's the way you want to be as an IO, really.
Yeah, 2021. Ban's coming out. We're getting rid of the Conquer on the side of LBZS. Again, another nice response hero to that IO.
Do you ever get that one toxic teammate that if you're playing
No, all my
IO
teammates are
that's
lovely.
that's trying to keep you tethered to him throughout the whole game, and you're like, no, I want to explore the world, tether different heroes.
I get what you're saying, Lizard. I get what you're saying. I think we all have those thoughts from time to time, but then, you know, at the end of the day, you know that the IO is going to be there for you, supporting you, and only wants the best for you, and that's what matters at Lizard.
Yeah. And that mech and whatnot, the Greaves, it covers an area, so.
And the heart.
Yep. And they're building their whole, items for you, and you're building your items for yourself, not thinking about that IO.
Did you ever realize that IO is the only one that actually shares his heart?
I didn't. Today I learned.
Now you know.
Oh, I know. What are we predicting?
IO with a heart. That's really something that I would love to see once again.
That'd be horrific.
Because he shares those beats. They not only beat for him, but they beat for the target that he is tethered to. It's just lovely. You know what you should do? You should also buy a soul ring on IO and share that ring with the target.
I don't think he
you're
has a
tethered.
soul though. No.
He doesn't have a soul?
Like look at it here. He's kind of.
He's literally a soul.
That's
how I
no, he's
imagine my
light.
soul.
He's a mass of light.
That's soul, man. You remember in
If I
Dota
turn
1
the light
or
off, he's
Warcraft? In Warcraft, he had a face,
face,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
What
Just a
happened to
random
that face? It was pretty creepy, actually.
If you get the Arcana as well, if you have the IO Arcana, that's also nice.
Yeah. So what happened actually? What happened with the
With his heart?
IO? No, IO's face.
With IO's face.
Especially when they were attacking Archimond at the end there. Did you see that?
They just blew up on Archimond.
Yeah, but
they
they're
detonated him. Yeah. It was all a trick. It was a sham. He fell for it.
Yeah.
They got him.
Fool.
Anyway.
Why was he climbing the tree anyway? What, he wants to kill the tree
He wanted to
of
burn
life?
it. They wanted to burn it.
Yeah, he wants to burn it, but burn it
Want
from
to burn the
distance.
tree of life?
He
Flash
might
rock.
climb it.
I want Quap.
Pugna.
Boring.
Pugna. Oh, EHOME instanted that as well. They're ready for it. They're
And
not messing around.
against all belief, it's not a mid lane.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame.
We could have never guessed.
Yeah.
After
All right. Very quickly, I'm going to need the predictions from you guys for this game. Number one.
I like this partner pick quite a lot. So, EHOME for me.
I like, the Pugna and the Ricky pick for EHOME. I still like LBZS draft more, but I'll go with EHOME anyway.
Hard to bet against them, and yeah, I mean, this Pugna pick feels very, very good and an XM favorite as far as I'm aware, so I'm going to go with EHOME as well. And with that, we're going to be throwing across to a very short break whilst we get the casters sorted out as we do have some technical issues. We'll be back very shortly with game number one, so don't go anywhere.
welcome back. We're live right into the game. Taking a look here, LBZS against EHOME. Should be a fun series. This one means a lot for LBZS. EHOME are trying to secure their upper bracket spot. If they're able to win this series, then they should be through into the upper bracket, upper division for next season, which would be nice. They've got Raji replacing, I believe, Irving.
Yeah.
In the
And
side of LBZS.
Sylar, yeah, I've seen Sylar be playing in the other Chinese tournament the other day, and man, he looked good. I kind of miss Sylar in the scene. Glad that he actually managed to make a comeback. EHOME definitely needs to win this one, which will secure their spot to stay in the upper division for the next season. So a hero that we did not see being picked pretty much at all. I don't remember seeing it across Southeast Asia region. I don't remember seeing it in China at all. That's Pugna. They knew exactly what to pick. This hero is going to be so great against Slardar. You just completely ruined Slardar's game. It's great against Leshrac. You struggle. You need an earlier BKB because of that ward. You're not able to use your abilities. They don't have too much attack speed to be able to deal with the healing ward, the nether ward. So it's going to be a bit rough. The only attack speed they have pretty much is IO.
It just seems interesting to me. You're going to Raji for this last series. It's an important series. You don't have Irving to show up. And it felt like, to me at least, the draft from LBZS didn't feel strong in my eyes. It looked okay. The Leshrac felt like, maybe they have some pushing potential. But then immediately EHOME knew what they wanted. And
yeah, EHOME came really prepared. And QQQ, he also joined the EHOME, which we can already see the difference in the way they draft. So yeah, I think it's gonna be hard to play into this Timbersaw. He's playing into 1, 2, 3 strength heroes, so should be an easy job for the Timbersaw in this game. I did not really like Timbersaw at the start of the patch. I didn't really feel him. But I feel like this hero scales right now, especially with the addition of the shard. It was kind of a meme, but now I think it's super good. The damage is 700, the slow is I believe 20%.
Well, what was the game that really changed your thoughts on Timbersaw?
Because I've seen so many games of the Timbersaw actually, just even not doing well in the laning stage, dying one or two times. This is something that Timbersaw struggled with historically. You kill him once, you kill him twice, the snowball effect is gone. There's the stun.
Yeah, trying to go here onto the Lion and make that move. It's just not enough damage. The Hex comes out, so Slardar can't really do much with that. It's early on these levels, just not enough there to get the kill up top. But Bash is coming through with a Slytherin Crush onto the Riki.
Fake hype, nothing going on, still 0-0-0. Mid lane, I see Pugna having a couple of more CS than Leshrac, and I love that early point in the Netherward that I talked about, which is going to be hard for Leshrac to deal. Leshrac is a kind of a hero that wants to be able to just put the pressure on the enemies. Usually when you pick Leshrac, you know that you're going to have a good laning stage. I don't think that's going to be the thing here, because he outranges the opponent, so this is his strength.
It's one of the things that I've noticed about LBZS. They sometimes have good matchups, or even when they do have good matchups, it becomes a struggle for them just in the lane. X, he hasn't really shown me anything that's been too amazing in the lanes, even when he's had better matchups. And I want to see more from him. And I think with the Leshrac, there's a potential there that they could push, but up against the Pugna, that feels like that might get nullified out.
Yeah, it could be in a bit of a trouble playing into that matchup. Also, one Hex on the hero. They have no real saves besides Io's relocate, so it could be a bit problematic. You can see the different build on the Leshrac 202, and then we most of the time see Edict being maxed out. Oh, he gets the procs on the bottom. Man, Pangolier is such a strong hero. Just overall, whether it's a position 3, whether it's a position 4, you get so much out of this hero. Scales well, cripples pretty much all the right-click carries, deals well with the supports. They have no ability to stop the roll, which means it's kind of a free Pango game.
Sleep out on
good stun.
XM mid. This should be first blood and will be for X, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, where you need X to really step up, and you've got Raji coming over with the Elder Titan to help get that sleep and set up the stun. Which, for me, looking at Raji, I always thought he was a good 5. He's played with some Chinese teams in the past. With Serenity was his most recent Chinese team, played for Team Dog in Southeast Asia, and that was during a BTS event as they get a kill up top on X Nova. The bashes and just the control there, unable to get the Lion out. And it's a good start from LBZS. This is something we've noticed from EHOME, even with the change to QQQ. The drafts look really good, but the execution hasn't quite been there, but you could see it building.
Yeah, I think they just need a bit more time. If they win this one, we'll stay in the upper division, which is kind of okay considering how they started. So, like, EHOME, I think they will be ready for Season 2. Like, they just need some more time to build it up. Pango with the disarm.
Yeah, Raji trying to run away here as he's got his courier coming with a salve. Get some distance between him and Fade. Going back to your point about the Pangolier, do you like him more in the 3 or the 4?
Depending on the situation here, like 4 is also fine, even though I like Pango to be a bit more aggressive. And we can already see, like, this is just going to become even more problematic. No procs, so no minus armor. That's why it's called Lucky Shot.
Ooh, Fade in trouble. They also had the Rubik TPing bottom. Fade on the run. If Cat-Yu could get a Fade bolt off, that would feel great and get the kill, which he does. So Cat-Yu getting the 3rd for LBZS. They are getting these kills, but at the same time, you still have a net worth lead for EHOME by a slight margin. At least for the moment. Because I think Ricky... Yeah, Sylar's having a good time here, top.
So is Slardar. Not that bad matchup. You know, Slardar into any pretty much melee hero feels good. Ricky, he has tools to deal with the Slardar. High base armor, high base regen, but you know, can't be just left alone. Once he hits that level 6, you're gonna feel the more damage coming out. Sylar, another bash. He's toying with him.
Sylar has a way to get out, but plays it a little bit too close to the fire. He might just get burned there. As XM with some help from both Fade and X Nova trying to take the tier 1 tower mid. They do glyph it up, so they'll keep that alive, and that's something that you want to do. Shrink the map of this Leshrac and make sure that he really doesn't do what he wants to do, which is in fact pushing and getting those levels, using the Diabolic Edict to, you know, grab towers himself.
Both of the mid laners are extremely good at taking the towers with the Blast, with the Edict. You can already see like the mid tower being super low. For the LBZS needs like 3 blasts to be able to bring it down. So this is something they need to be careful about. Also like Timbersaw playing with the catapult timing. It's I think they might be able to like get the 2 tier 1 towers 10 minutes in.
He's swiping some CS there away from MS. His game so far is okay for the IO, but
yeah, like IO's gonna get the farm, but eventually you need to leave the lane because Timbersaw is gonna cause a lot of issues. You are a strength hero. Dust on the top lane. Ricky just blinks away. Tricks of the trade. Pretty easy stuff. 1 point in Edict only. That's a level 6 Leshrac, so you're not gonna really feel the damage, but they are bringing the numbers. Let's see if there's going to be any kind of rotation. Like, Timbersaw didn't kill the tier 1 tower on the bottom yet, so he can't really rotate to the top. Like, you do not want to lose the momentum. You do not want to lose on the XP. They still defend the tower, which is good.
They did, in fact, lose that mid-tier 1. So, get away with getting a tower there, and EHOME start to bolster their lead at 1K. You've got Leshrac, who's up there with the Pugna. Like, this mid-matchup went really well for X, all things considered, and I think that also comes off the back of Raji coming towards mid and helping getting that first blood. They don't actually have a kill on EHOME just yet, but they're okay with where the game is taking itself for the moment.
I lost the tier 1 tower mid, which is a pretty big deal. Like, it gives you another entrance to the triangle where IO will be farming, and you can also have your mid laner rotate freely around the map, either like a bottom tower or be able to defend the top tower. And there it is, like, that's what I said, you know, 10 minutes in, even before 10 minutes in, 2 tier 1 towers falling, so this opens up the map for EHOME, even though they still don't have a single kill on the board.
Right.
They're doing really well. Like, you're just gonna feel that the map is gonna shrink for LBZS.
Which is going to make this game much harder for, I would say, 3 cores that kind of want a little bit of farm here in the early goings.
It's a very greedy draft where Leshrac consumes a lot of farm on the map because he farms fast. Same goes for Io, and I expect Timbersaw to try to possibly TP top and defend, but yeah, they're just bailing right now. Instead, they're getting a kill. So yeah,
I thought they might go the pacifist route, but instead they get a kill on Araji as they're pressuring the tier 2 over bottom. They let that tier 1 fall, but Chalice is having a game which we haven't seen from him throughout the DPC yet, where his lane
Chalice,
goes really well. He's been kind of inconsistent throughout this.
He's been inconsistent. I think he's been way too confident, feeling himself, being able to play really good for a long period of time. Mid lane.
X in trouble, swashbuckle. He did
Gets
proc
the
and
proc.
lucky shot, and this should be a kill on the Leshrac. That's for XM, and that's the power that they have with just 2 heroes to get that kill over mid.
Chalice this time should not have any trouble transitioning his farm into the mid game. He's the most farmed hero on the map right now. Having a Hood going into Lotus Orb to be able to deal with the corrosive haze, which is still a very strong ability. You're playing into Elder Titan and Slardar, so removing your base armor and also applying minus armor is something you need to be very careful about. Even though you seem tanky, you still need to build into armor items.
Yeah, they're gonna come over mid again. XM, he really wants to shut down this Leshrac, one of those win conditions there for LBZS to push
My
powers.
man Pango, he's
No
getting
fear.
all the procs. Didn't get too many in the lane, but you keep those. You build them up, save them for a bit later. That's called investment, B-Cup.
Nothing I know about. I don't know about investing that well. But he has invested in the procs, and he's getting them here every single time. Is now even the score at 3 apiece. And you just see that Chalice and XM are starting to pull away. I will say, though, the Ricky struggling Sylar behind.
Oh,
but they get
that's a
quick kill.
dirty combo right there. The Cripify finger. I don't think anyone can just survive
that.
just the combo. It feels too strong. EHOME, Chalice on the bottom lane, he's just having a really, really good time. I mean, as for LBZS, you need to stay away from this Timbersaw, or you need to bring Slardar, ET, Leshrac +1 to be able to kill him.
Yeah, you need to be able to come over and get some kills here, if you can, on Chalice, which is a struggle, like you said. But I'm wondering if even right now they're just behind a little bit too much to make that move. Try to go elsewhere. The stun comes out on Araji. You've already got that ward
Oh,
down
that's
from
bug now.
XM,
With your Cane Rune, you do not want to take this fight.
not at all, and they've got the life drain onto X. They'll get the kill on the Leshrac. Look over the Slardar. It weighs down a Slithering Crush, but that's not going to help him survive. XM with the double kill now dominating. And EHOME 3K ahead.
Oh, it's one of
Everything
the
going well.
strongest arcane runes. When you see Pugna with that rune, if you can burst them from 100 to 0 in a second, you run away.
MS, he's getting chased now. Still looking for the sweep.
Good
but
dodge.
avoided by Sylar, which might allow them to continue to jump. They do have XM coming in from the side. Swashbuckle that time does not land from Fade. They do have XM behind the tower, which now puts him in no man's land. Still willing to move and have help from his team and stay aggressive. He throws a stun out. Timber Chain across from Cat-U, trying to catch up to X-Nova. He'll in fact steal the stun and then the kill for MS as X-Nova finally falls. But it takes a full rotation from LBZS.
A lot of investment to just kill a position 5, which is not that great. Ricky still needs a bit more time to finish his Battle Fury. Each tower fell, was playing into Slardar, so can't really, blame him that it's not a 12-minute Battle Fury. No procs this time around.
He's got the Rolling Thunder, and he'll come in to slow there with the life drain. And again, XM just feeling so strong in this game, getting yet another kill onto X. And Chalice, he stayed bottom. He's continuing to farm. He's close to that Lotus Orb, sitting top of the net worth. This game couldn't get any easier at the moment for him.
It feels like an easy game from the EHOME at this point, where they just need to be able to put a bit more pressure, get the kills every single time. The Lion needs to play with Pugna, because they can get so many things done. Just buy a bit more time for Ricky to come online. They have all the tools, they have so many heroes to actually keep them busy. Pangolier, Orb of Corrosion, I love a casual Earn. Just Earn in general is a good overall pickup. I feel like not necessarily it's a must-have on the team, but it feels so good to have it because like sometimes you have 2 heroes that are like half HP, they want to go back, you can't push the tower, so like that extra heal actually helps out. It's like having 3 cells.
Would you like if he upgraded that into a Spirit Vessel after this duels?
No, I would love to see a Blink Dagger to be able to deal with the back lines and then get a Spirit Vessel after.
So go again onto the Slardar who's trying to run. Zhao Fu is on his way back. He gets behind the tier 2 tower. But with pressure coming in from EHOME, it forces a rotation out from at least Cat U. Nobody else coming over just yet as they're continuing to look for farm on IO as well as this Shrek. It's just hard to come by with the pressure that EHOME are putting on. They're squeezing the map really hard.
LBZS cannot play near the Timbersaw. He just feels unkillable. He finished that Lotus Orb, so the spell mechanic is there, which is great against the Corrosive Haze. And yeah, I don't think they take this fight. They don't have the tools to deal with the Nether Ward. Right now, they're like, this is what I talked about. Like, it's a greedy draft. You can see both of these heroes being at the same spot. They love to farm the triangle. I guess the timing that the LBZS is looking for is this Aghanim Scepter on IO. So that's going to give them a bit more damage in the team fights.
But is that even enough? You're down 5K.
I don't think that's
like
enough, but this could be the timing. Also, Slardar decided to go for a Hood, which I can understand. You know, you're playing into Pugna, into Lion. There's a ton of magical damage. But you still need an initiation. Like, you can't make any aggressive moves. Like, imagine Slardar with the Blink Dagger, Blink again, stunning, relocate Leshrac plus IO. Like, you have enough to actually bring down heroes with that kind of stuff. Right. But right now, they're just playing a bit more greedy, itemizing greedily, which means that EHOME will get more of the map.
KU does pick up a Blink Dagger, so they do have a way to get a Blink into the telekinesis. There's a smoke.
Rubik has a Blink. Okay, so like this is one way to start a fight, like not your classic initiator, but at least they can blink in and lift people.
Come over and Zhao Fu is here, but they might spot MS. The question is, do they?
Oh, they want the IO.
They want both. They'll go for the IO. A lot of damage done
Good
here on
sleep.
X. No, but they're going to kill an XM to follow that one up. The sweep was big. They've got the silence out, but it's not going to be enough to control them. Tricks of the trade right over Roche's. They've got the Dust Siler in trouble. He gets killed off by Zhao Fu, who's on a triple kill.
And they're going to turn that
right
straight into Roche.
Big fight for LBZS.
Actually, a sick fight from LBZS where like they use their spells properly. Leshrac getting so much, you can feel the power of IO Aghanim Scepter in that fight. And this is something that you need to be careful about. Like this lineup is very good. Like they even had the high ground advantage. Decided to like go look at Chouch. He decided to go on ET. ET lands a really good stomp.
Yeah.
I think Lion needs to be able to control the ET while Timbersaw is on IO dealing the damage. And yeah, Zhao Fu with the cleanup. This lineup from LBZS, don't get me wrong, is very scary in terms of like minus armor and amplifying the damage, like right clicks coming up from the IO. You have Edict, which is also physical damage. Imagine that with the ET Aura and also Corrosive Haze. So that's going to be like a lot of physical damage output coming up from this type of a lineup.
It looked like there just wasn't the communication there. They split. Raji just landing 4 or 5 man sweep. Certainly going to make that fight really tough, but the communication for LBZS to make it happen, the damage coming out, EHOME need to put it all together. And they had the advantage coming into that fight with the surprise smoke coming through, and now LBZS are the ones who want to smoke and continue to take advantage with this momentum.
Oh, this is a good steal from Rubik. He has Life Drain, which is kind of a saving ability. Like it's paired up nicely with the IO, so he can potentially just be that saving hero. And it's also green. Like look at the synergy on that hero. Looks so nice.
I think his Rubik's pretty high level with the Arcana. Should have everything unlocked. Raji's smoke gets broken. It's something I want to go back to because Raji, this is his signature hero in my eyes. He plays this Elder Titan, or was playing this Elder Titan pretty much every game exclusively when he was playing for Serenity, at least when I was seeing them back then. So I'm really impressed with Raji's play. He doesn't have a lot of net worth, but
he's landing those stomps. That's what matters pretty much. That's their counter initiation when they group up. Also in that fight, Bango did not get the Rolling Thunder off, which could be like a game-winning difference because still there's no abilities that can pierce through spell immunity. Like, you know, Edict is there, but it's not going to stop Pango from rolling. Also, you need to be very careful when you're playing Pango into Rubik, which is a bit tricky. You need to use Rolling Thunder and Shield Crash straight away, so Rubik can't steal it.
Don't want to give up the
oh no, the
rolling
cube.
The Rubik's Cube that comes through and messes up your day. This is I like this from X, because they really need to take out this mid-tier one as well. I think that should be their objective, at least at the end of this age, is maybe take another fight and then go in and take the tier 1. Relocate coming in top. They've got the telekinesis as well as the Earth Splitter throw. Next Nova falls to Raji. A lot of heroes to come up and get a kill onto the Lion once again, but I think LBZS, they took the tower bottom. They should be happy with what they've got so far with this Aegis, but still the problem lurking in Chalice, who's 10k net worth.
Now with that Blink Dagger on Slaughter, it's much easier for LBZS to actually play the game. We can see the combo being executed. It's a simple one, but it makes them, you know, much stronger on the map. They're pressuring the side lanes. There's always this threat if Slaughter is missing on the map. Blink initiation into relocate type of a play.
They do have 2 Blink initiators now. Slaughter both having that Blink Dagger ready to go. Slaughter going to get the Lotus Orb as well. Sylar, even with this Battle Fury, not top of the net worth, but everything's pretty close towards the top except for the Slardar.
Ricky, right now, doesn't feel like he wants to join the fights, especially with the Aegis still on LBZS. So just wants to be able to farm his another item. I don't think Ricky's gonna be able to feel secure. XM getting caught.
There's the Yules, but here comes Sylar. Can he help out enough? They've got the silence. Here comes the Rolling Thunder coming in from Fade. They'll look over at Zhao Fu, who's been hit with the Rolling Thunder as well as the Decrepify. They've got themselves another blast, but it's not gonna be enough. MS tethered up and looking to finish off this fight. As Chalice goes in, throws out a Whirling Thunder as well as the Timber Chain coming through. The stun is out onto the Elder Titan. They get the kill on Araji and they look over as Tricks of the Trade is used, only getting the Elder Titan so far. It ends up being a 1-for-0 trade in favor of EHOME. And all that, again, just thrown back and forth as it seems like we're getting these big 5-on-5 team fights, but they only result in like 1 kill. Except for the one that happened in the triangle earlier.
Yeah, EHOME, you know, Ricky, I wanted to say that he's still not comfortable just going into a fight until he finishes that like Manta stuff. Very burstable.
Coming over again now, look at the Chalice.
Oh, not the combo.
Not time it right. They still do land the stun. They've got themselves the sweep. They should be able to get the kill, but XM trying to help out as best he can, keeping Chalice alive just barely. They got the bash out on the X-Nova as well as the Corrosive Haze. They'll get the kill onto the Lion, but they end up losing themselves. This IO, Raji falls too, 2 heroes gone, and they have the stun onto X. With the Rolling Thunder putting him up into the air, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get out of this one. He moves himself into the air. Zhao looking for a victim here as he's got himself the Slither as well as the Corrosive Haze out on XM. They get the kill onto Sylar, 2, they take it out 3. X still surviving, but finally goes down to the Chakram coming out from Chalice. They'll look over and still try to find Fade, but there's the disarm, and that will send him back to base if he can make it there. Telekinesis coming out from this Rubik, but they can't chase enough onto the Slardar, and they only end up trading 3 for 3 in a fight that looked like it was going well for EHOME at the start.
Yeah, LBZS a bit disappointing in terms of like initiation. They're not on the same page where like there's a Blink initiation from Slaughter, but there's also a Yule Scepter from the Lash Rack, so like you can feel that they still don't feel very comfortable playing even with the items, even though it feels like game is pretty even though it's a 5k gold lead for EHOME at the moment. Like LBZS can still take those fights. Also, I don't think Timbersaw is the target that you want to go for as the first, especially with that like Lotus Orb, so he can remove a lot of the stuff. Still don't think you have enough to just bring him from 100 to 0. That extra armor coming up from the Lotus Orb actually kicking in. I see Guardian Greaves queued up for the Timber. I really like that item, you know, it's just gonna make him even more tanky. You will have another way of dispelling things from yourself, so that's gonna be great.
Yeah, even like you said, with the 5k lead, they're still trading. It's pretty crazy how close it feels, even with the lead from EHOME. But I think that also goes back to we're not really feeling the impact from this Ricky yet. He still needs a little bit more, I would say a lot more time at this point. Got a BKB there for the IO of MS. Like, I don't know, I just don't feel like the Rickies.
Yeah, didn't really feel Ricky's influence in this game. Like there was a couple of good clouds, but that's pretty much it. He doesn't deal that much damage at the moment. Like Lashrak is a tanky hero. Same goes for Slardar. There goes the IO. Also, like they need to jump the backline. Also, I would love to see a Spirit Vessel on the Pango this game. He's going like Yule Scepter, Blink, Shard. Like these are all good items, but I feel like Spirit Vessel against like IO is kind of a must-have, especially since you already purchased and earned. So
I'd like to see him get a Blink, but I'd also like that Spirit Vessel if he can get it. He's also looking for the Shard, have that roll-up mechanic. Xnova's top, and they just TP'd in this Lashrak, but they also have Raji nearby.
that's a Lashrak with the Arcane.
Ooh, they're going to try and get this kill out on the Lashrak. They've got the finger, but there's the sweeper coming in on the two. The stolen finger. That hits, kills off Xnova. They've got the life drain out on the Zhao. As well as your Twitter coming in on the Sylar. Can they get the kill with the Corrosive Haze? He's going to trick the trade out. They've traded so far a 1-for-1 and end up being a 2-for-2 as they take on Sylar, but end up losing Raji. Chalice is in on this. They've got their relocate back. BKB Popeye MS, and that finally ends. But now they're turning this around. They're looking to get the kill on the rest. Clean up. Telekinesis up in the air, and that will be onto this splitter that's thrown over by X. But they're starting to get low on the Lashrak and may not feel comfortable going in for this, but they do have Zhao Fu ball back. Blink with the Slither Crush and the Corrosive Haze out on a fade, but XM continuing to save some of these heroes with that life drain on his allies. So now he throws down that ward. They don't have a lot of mana left on the Lashrak. They're trying to turn this around with the Lotus Orb being popped on Chalice. Feeling confident moving in, but he gets hit with the Slither Crush. They've got the Corrosive Haze still on a fade, so he needs to sit back. Otherwise, he might just get blown out.
Oh, Chalice is in. He's in deep.
And Chalice is in deep. They get that kill on a cat. They end up saving, though, this Lashrak,
Oh,
which is
he's
massive.
a mad guy, you know.
He still wants more.
Going for the high ground with no vision whatsoever. Just feels unkillable at the moment. And you can feel like EHOME, they understand where they need to take a fight. XM places another Nether Ward, and they're like, yeah, just group around here. Don't overextend. Fight around the ward. They don't have the best heroes to take it. I placed it well, hit it in the trees. So yeah, good stuff from EHOME in this fight.
I will say, though, Cat is really good in that exchange. They might lose Sylar. Man, they just lost him in this top fight. They're looking for the sleep, but he's able to get the tricks of the trade-off life drain out on the starter, but it's not doing enough damage here for XM. XM maybe can keep alive Sylar, who Blink Strikes over to the side, but just walks away with 2 kills here. I'm surprised that Sylar's able to get himself out. Just as well as the finger coming in from Xnova. X is low chakra there. Chalice getting the kill. Pops the Guardian Greaves, so gets a little bit more mana and health on the side of EHOME as they continue to look for something more, but don't quite find it.
Oh man, Sylar needs to be careful. Like it doesn't really feel that he can do much in those fights. Going into Aghanim Scepter, I don't think he's gonna be able to like just feel comfortable fighting until he gets a BKB.
Yeah.
And having like Battle Fury BKB Manta style also doesn't feel like a great item build. Like you want to be able to scale, investing into that BKB early on. This is something that we don't really see from Ricky got nerfed in the previous patch, but still see him from time to time.
And you're kind of seeing why he's kind of lost his value, right? And why he doesn't get picked up as much.
It's also a tough matchup
Yeah.
into Slardar, so there's always going to be this Corrosive Haze that you need to worry about. There is a Dispel mechanic, of course, from the Manta that he built, but also playing into Lashrak, like you get a jump, you overextend, Lashrak is there, it's a ton of damage. Lashrak is a scary hero to play in for a lot of the carries, like Slark comes to my mind, Phantom Lancer as well. This is the type of heroes that don't like to play into Lash.
So Xnova sitting bottom.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And the rest of EHOME kind of postured near Roche, but I don't think they're going to quite look to take that with nobody gone on LBZS. They would probably want to at least get a pick off somewhere and maybe move into that Roche. Let's see how they play this. Chalice still manning the front lines. He does have that shard, so Flamethrower is active.
And also Cloak of Flames, a lot of fire coming out from the hero.
Yeah.
Cloak of Flamethrower.
Ancient Apparition is melting somewhere off the map. Too much fire coming in. Let's see. Smoke from EHOME. Chalice kind of giving a little bit of information there. We'll see how LBZS approaches. They are sitting together for the moment. The only one that's not there is the Lashrak, who's been very important in these team fights. So he's got to get back with his team. He TP's back to base. He didn't know those boots travel. Maybe they make their move in. This is a stolen Chakram coming out from Cat U. Chain in. Chalice already looking to go through, but they've got the telekinesis. They look over at XM. They've got themselves the corrosive haze. They'll get the kill onto the line and look over now. Zardar just hit with the life drain from XM, and Silence up with the relocate is there to get him out. He's safe and sound, but Raji will not be. They kill off the Elder Titan. They end up making a trade, and the buyback comes out from X-Nova. Maybe they'll continue to fight over mid. It's a blink forward from Jiao, who's a little bit short of XM, and now they've got themselves their sight set onto this IO with the life drain. They'll get the kill on MS, and they'll look towards the backlines. Cat U on the run, chopping back to him, but he ends up falling to Chalice.
Oh, that relocate play, you know, it saved the hero, but you coming back into the cloud, it's very hard. No BKB, so could not use it. The second Roche, same thing happened for Roche number 1, where they take a fight close to the Roche pit and instantly turn it into Roche. So Cheese and Aegis. Fade was having a really good time throughout this whole game on the Pangolier. Let's see that one again. Fade is was like one of my favorite position for players when he was playing like a year ago. Didn't see too much of him, you know, until the start of the DPC season, but felt really good. Didn't like the retirement, you know, the 5-day retirement coming out from him.
Was it 5? It might have even been like 2 days. I swear, it's always just like, I'm retired. I'm back. I'm gonna do that.
You need to.
Retired.
I know it's gonna give a damn speak up. Say you're retiring, like fine, whatever, you know. But
I'm back.
Just kidding, just kidding. But it happened across all the other regions. Players love to fake retire.
I wonder. Yeah, I think maybe we'll see it one time with the caster. They retire, they come back.
It's a possibility.
Just like in between events. I'm retired for a week. By the way, I'm going to this event. I'm back. 13K lead here for EHOME. And that last fight, it still felt like there was opportunity there for LBZS. Like sometimes you see leads like this, and the game feels completely out of hand. Just a little bit there from LBZS that was maybe not as coordinated as we'd like them to be.
Yeah, there was a couple of fights where they mess up the initiation. Then they're not on the same page who needs to do what. There's another good roll, another good stock. Like he instantly stops it, so that you know, people don't see it. If you're stuck there with the level 15 down 3 extra seconds, that's rolling thunder duration. Chalice, yeah, he has 0 deaths on his Timbersaw. Like we said at the start of the game, it's going to be a really good Timbersaw game, and it's really showing.
Going to go onto the high ground now where they'll pop that glyph. It doesn't look like EHOME are going anywhere despite the glyph coming out. They've got the power from XM, and as well as these other heroes just take this power out. We'll see if LBZS want to try and fight this. They really need 5 here. KU's been adding a lot to these fights. Pretty important, throwing it back.
They're creep skipping with IO, trying to get something done, but I think this tower just falls to the blast. Backdoor protection. They're not going to have creeps in the base, so it should be kicking in soon. There it is.
It's time to go. Get the tier 3 back off. Feels good for EHOME. They still have an Aegis to work with. I wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe migrate towards another lane and make it happen again. Picked up for XM, especially with a rune like that, you can make things happen. Chalice is forward and ahead of his team with a smoke being used here by LBZS. Sylar is still in the jungle. It feels like he's still looking to get some farm and feel a little bit more relevant.
Oh yeah,
this game.
it's one of those games where you feel, I need one more item all the time.
Yeah. Cat U pretty far forward, telekinesis, and now into the Slither Crush fight. XM, he'll be fine, and they've got the finger from the stun coming out from XM over that. Caught this IO pretty far forward. They'll use the Earth Splitter that will land potentially on the Chalice. And they're on the back lines. They get the kill on XM. They'll end up taking out Cat U. So it's being a 1-for-1. No buyback available for XM. They take out MS. Down goes the IO. 83 seconds. Not coming back for a long time. They are right on the Leshrac. They've got the dust. They've got the damage and the kill. They'll take out X. They'll look for more Raju TP, but it's not in time. Full heals out of the side of LBZS, and just XM falling.
They got Pugna, but at what cost? Like they dived there's still tier 1 tower. Like, there's less rack in the game. That's something that we don't see quite often, especially as a mid-less rack, where like that tower falls rather quickly. So EHOME doing a very good job just protecting that tower. And yeah, they down the tower. Pagana dies, even though like he has a Force Staff, he has an Eon Disc, so like a lot of defensive tools going into Dagon 5 to be able to burst people down. I like the itemization from Pagana. You know, a bit of a save, which he also saved Ricky a couple of times with that good Force Staff plays. But they also want to be able to scale going into that Dagon, which is always going to be annoying to play into once BKBs are down to 5 seconds. So because Sylar picked up the Aegis, doesn't necessarily need to get a BKB, feels a bit easier for him to play. With the Aegis, can actually itemize for the damage, so going for Daedalus is the right choice.
They lead XM back in 2. They're going to continue to pressure this bottom lane. Sort of letting it come back. But moves up into the air, Raji in trouble, and just look at the damage that comes out. Raji's going to immediately buy back. They're entering 2 here. They've got the silence on Cat U. He scores the buyback as well as finally their Shrek comes up. Use buybacks on multiple heroes, and telekinesis into the Lotus Orb that's placed on him by Chalice. This is looking bad for Cat U. He just bought back to get the connect. No pop out a MS as well as X. Guardian Greaves keeping them healthy, keeping them forward, looking for more. They've got the Lotus Orb on the Shrek, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough to survive. However, with a relocate out, back into the base and potentially looking to re-engage here. This is a tough one, and Chalice is just feeling tanky enough to stand in front of them and not really be too scared.
Now you see that flamethrower, you instantly back off. Like, just the animation of that feels super scary to play into, and they can slow siege with Pugna, something that is kind of unique to the hero.
And they're going to go in, they look over at Fade, duels up into the air, but there's Sylar moving into the backline, tricks of the trade right on top of 3 heroes. They finally get the suit on a Chalice, but pops that flamethrower. They'll
gets the cheese
on
off.
Sylar, which was passed over from Chalice.
That was
but the
such a big
2-man
play.
stun. Fade ends up dead. Raji drops, disarming and silencing up this Leshrac, trying to run away as he's tethered up to this IO. And Zhao Fu falls to Chalice, who is just beyond godlike and locking down his MVP bid. But Sylar falling quick, and you can tell that Zhao Fu just still has the damage to take out this Ricky, who's not feeling that confident, even after having the agents, even after having the cheese. It's just not enough to survive. It's the second time the BKBs have been fought in this engagement, or popped in this engagement, with MS as well as X moving in to try to get the kill on XM. But here comes Chalice once again,
good
doing a lot of
force
damage
stab.
onto MS, and XM and the rest with the life drain, but just not enough. The finger comes in from X Nova. They get the kill on MS. They've got themselves the Hex as well. The stun coming out from X Nova onto Leshrac, who will throw the stun, landed. It's just not feeling like enough. Guardian Greaves there, keeping X Nova healthy, and down goes X. And really, Chalice, he's not getting touched, he's not getting killed, and he's just outputting so much damage in these fights.
They understand that,
GG.
yeah, there's the GG called. Yeah, they could not do anything. I love the play from XM where he goes one way, then forces himself, you know, in the other way, because it felt really good.
Yeah.
Just, I think Sylar didn't really shine in this game, but he did his job considering the matchup he was playing into. But the rest of the team were doing very well. Like Pangolier was doing some heavy lifting, Pugna with a couple of good Force Staff saves. Just overall good showing from EHOME. So yeah.
Yeah, so it looks good from EHOME. They get themselves the victory. We're going to throw it over to a quick break and then be back on the panel in just a second. Stay right there.
Hello and welcome back to the Dota Pro Circuit, where we are here in the Chinese region, brought to you by Perfect World, and we are now one game into this best of 3 series, and EHOME, well, they do it, or, well, Chalice. This guy does not want to be relegated.
Yeah, angry Chalice. After last week, he was probably a little bit angry with himself, and he redeemed himself here.
Yeah, I think most of them were angry with themselves, or still might be angry after the whole DPC season. But yeah, Chalice, we were looking at him. Black was like, man, he's looking very AFK, like in the previous series. Then suddenly, bam, they step it up a notch, and it was
literally too angry to lose.
Too angry to lose, exactly. They did make a lot of mistakes, and LBZS played the best Dota that we've seen from them in a couple of scenarios, but eventually they just ran out of ammo to deal with that Timbersaw.
Yeah, I feel like every time we see LBZS, you know, that house is being built, just another brick, another brick, another brick. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of bricks to build a house, and we're kind of like, how far are we into the house of LBZS right now?
The foundation is nearly complete, I'd say, and then they're gonna start building some bedrooms, some
some bedroom walls.
Yeah.
I see.
So far, the big bad wolf is not scared yet.
I'm interested in what house goes foundation, bedroom. Like where's the
Yeah, you have
room,
to you have to sleep somewhere. What do you mean?
Yeah, but the bedrooms generally go like on the second floor of the house, not the.
Oh, yeah, they're not gonna have a second floor. It's gonna be one
it's a bungalow.
one floor, but
A
like
big one,
big
wide
Big
one,
bungalow.
with
Okay.
high ceiling as well.
High ceiling.
High
big bungalow.
ceiling.
high ceiling. Yeah, probably like 50, 100 meters.
That's going to take many more bricks to build. That's very high ceiling.
Yeah, but it's very important for a team such as LBZS to keep that high ceiling,
I see.
to strive for the stars, to be able to actually, you know, improve. Because
Okay, but with the foundation they've got poured so far, do you think this is a foundation of a really great team in the making?
I mean, usually what happens, sucks to say, but teams like that, they have like 2, 3, sometimes just one standout player, and then they get poached by bigger organizations, and then eventually the team, you know, just dissolves.
we will see if that happens here. One thing that could happen as well is maybe some mega mix of Magma slash LBZS.
The houses
can
will
happen.
combine.
Why not get
And then you have like one.
because we have seen how much a change can matter to a single team, even in one position. So maybe take Irving Katyu from LBZS, mix that up with the other 3 from Magma. You have a maybe even a stronger foundation of the house that you've been talking about.
Interesting, interesting. Well, we'll see if that's what they decide to do. Of course, only time will tell. And until that point, relegation is on the cards for both of these teams, at least if LBZS can't pull it together in this series. There is still a possibility. You know, I think, as you said, we saw a slightly stronger LBZS, still not quite strong enough. How was it that they were able to turn this game around on the side of EHOME?
I mean, they were never really behind on EHOME. They were ahead pretty much from minute 1. They were winning the lanes quite well. They had one really bad Roshan fight where they lost like 4 heroes and got none, I believe, then also lost Roshan. When I actually thought that LBZS was going to take that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, EHOME just proving to be a little bit too good for them.
I mean, you say they were never really ahead, but it was one of those drafts where we kind of expected them to roll through the lanes and then roll through the mid game and just kind of fight their way to victory, right? You know, they had this Pugner, this Timbersaw, this Ricky, a very vicious draft. But in fact, they lost one of those early fights and lost the first Roche as well. I kind of felt like the net worth was almost a bit misleading, and LBZS were actually in a really good position, but
they definitely were.
Slipped away.
They definitely were in a very good position, but they just got so heavily outplayed and outhanded in these team fights that it didn't matter that they're so far ahead. Because you're playing, literally, like you said, too angry to lose. It was Chalice and XM. These 2 players were carrying every single team fight. Chalice goes up front, and for some reason, LBZS, they don't have an answer to the Timbersaw. They still pour everything into him. He just soaks it on in, gets the crap, gets that life drain to heal him up, and then turns the fight. So you can see that LBZS, they played the lanes well, they had a good draft, they had everything that they needed really to take objectives, but they didn't play the team fights properly.
Yeah.
But there's always something, there's always a but, sadly, for LBZS.
I actually thought after the Roche fight, you know, they just farmed the 2 BKBs on Lash as well as Io. They run
You
into the
run
back
in,
line,
yeah.
kill everybody, and then if Timber is all by himself, he's not going to live. But as he said, they just focus Timber first. He gets the crappy fight, life drain, he has Eternal Shroud, all these defensive items. He's a Timber, so super tanky. And I have nothing left to kill the backline with.
What about Sylar, though, on this, Ricky? Because I feel like it's a kind of hero which we've struggled to see people make work since the nerf. And I don't think this game was much of an exception. It wasn't a great performance from him.
I want to say he was okay. Like,
Yeah.
nothing great, nothing bad. He did his job, but
Yeah.
nothing extraordinary.
Yeah, he was Ricky. You couldn't see him in the game. He did his job.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Where was he? Who knows? He was invisible the whole time. Well, moving into game number 2, of course, we've got the draft just around the corner between these two teams. Any switch-ups here? Maybe a Timbersaw ban, perhaps? Or maybe an entire change of pace from LBZS?
I think they actually had a good draft. They set themselves up for success. It's just, as we always say, in that mid-game, their team fights, like their priorities, who they focus isn't good. Just the decision-making as a team in the mid-game just kind of falls apart, which is really the only thing that's holding them back, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a shame because you know, we could have a very competitive series on our hands if they can pull that together, and it looks like every time, as we say, a brick closer each time, but it's still not quite there.
Yep. Soon.
But that's definitely not an easy thing to fix and not something that happens overnight. Drafts, you get QQQ and suddenly your drafts are good. Doesn't matter. But learning how to team fight, learning which targets take priority, it's not that easy. It's not that simple, especially when you're playing versus a team that knows exactly what they're doing in team fights and they're covering their weaknesses. So,
yeah, definitely a lot of work to be done here in game 2. If
Indeed.
LBZS loses that, they're out for sure. Then Magma, if they can win against Elephant, they can force a tiebreaker with EHOME, but also seems unlikely.
It's a big ask.
So
It's a really
LBZS
big
needs
ask.
to win this.
They do.
they go with Io again. So
Yeah, I liked it.
I liked it and I didn't like it. Like, I liked it and I hated it at the same time, because sometimes you would feel like that IO wasn't truly a core, but he's a support that's saving targets using his BKB for relocates.
He misplayed that big time
Yeah.
for sure. Like, if you're a core IO, sure you can save your teammates, but he uses BKB to do it, and then he was out for 12 seconds, gets back into the fight, just dies from full health.
You're playing versus a Lion and Pugna. There's so much potential in your hero to go in those backlines with the Naganims, to wreak havoc on them. Instead, he just plays a little bit passively, always surrounded by his own teammates on his side of the team fight, instead of going in there with that BKB. 1 or 2 team fights as well, he relocates an ally and then just gets killed in a smoke screen afterwards. Hello, Mr. Fade.
Oh, Fade.
I was such an interesting hero, though. Like, in terms of what he brings to the game, he's a very kind of... To directly see what he's doing in the fights, it's quite difficult. He just kind of has his power creep, where his talents and his agonyms and like the items he builds, slowly, he starts to just become like this ball of death, where things around you kind of just die.
The thing is, as you said, like, he never stops scaling. Like, even his overcharge just always scales, because everything is percentage based.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy strong hero. The longer the game goes on, the stronger he gets.
Something like that Prophet as well, right?
Something like that Prophet, yeah.
this
The
hero that-
percentages in general in Dota are so strong.
What makes me giggle as well about IO is that like they were like, all right, you know, we don't like this IO core thing. We're gonna nerf the spirits, and they're like, but we're gonna give him a little talent here and there. Oh, and by the way, overcharge now amplifies magic.
It now
spell
heals
damage,
like
and it's
0.3 HP per
Wait a
second
minute.
less,
Speaking
and
of,
maybe 40 attack speed, but 20% magic ammo.
it's really weird.
it's
like,
just that all these nerfs and buffs and trying to remake a hero, and then if you're Ice Frog, you're just confused at some point. Like, where am I going with
No,
this?
what I realize is whenever they nerf something, they want to compensate in like another way. Like, if we
Exactly.
make this worse, then we gotta give him this, otherwise nobody wants to play him. It's like, sometimes that is not necessarily true.
Okay, EHOME.
talking about.
Back to the Lycan, yeah.
Hello, Lycan.
There is no Ajit on them. There is that Sylar, that good old Sylar that you guys might have heard about, and he loves his Lycan, so we might see that. Also, these 2 heroes on the side of LBZS hate playing against him. Well, if an IO is a core, then it's not as bad, but
Just run away.
Yeah, but as a support, it's quite obnoxious. We'll see if that's a support IO or not, because they can flex things up a little bit after the first game. It's still a very open draft from LBZS.
Yeah. That being said, though, there are some combinations with the core IO where this Lycan is really scared of. Like, there's this Tidehunter. I mean, even Gyrocopter is really good against Lycan with an IO.
Mars is banned out.
Mars is banned out
Won't see
already.
that. Kunkka is also decent.
Kunkka is scary, yeah.
Underlord ain't good.
Underlord is decent, it's just you can't really kill the creeps.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you
you
keep
like
them
the
there for
pure
like 2
damage.
seconds, they just run out. But it's not bad, like especially in the laning phase, you're quite good against him.
They're defending it though. They ban out the Tide.
Yeah, they have to defend it. Like if you pick Lycan this early, you need to defend it.
What I find very weird here from LBZS though is that they've picked the Shadow Shaman and now they're banning out both Void Spirit and Storm Spirit. Is this something you guys agree with?
I mean, they're probably just not very comfortable playing against these heroes. I mean, it's not something that I would ban if I already have answers to it. Just kind of speaks for itself in terms of confidence, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there are also heroes that they banned out. Like so, if you look at LBZS, in the second banning stage, the only different thing is Timber. Last game it was Lycan and then Storm and Void Spirit. So they just ban out the Timber, they give the Lycan. They don't want to play versus Storm and Void Spirit. These two heroes, like realistically, can carry games from that mid lane. We've seen that so many times. If you do give them a good lane, not even an excellent one.
Yeah.
Troll.
Troll Water. Oh, so it's offlane Lycan.
Alrighty.
Or Troll.
Or Troll.
Or mid troll.
Or mid Troll.
Or +5 Troll.
But this is
This is
probably
not in this game.
this is probably your offlane Lycan with the Wolf form bite, Aghanims, bite that Troll later on in the game, just send him your way. So it's a pretty neat combo. I've seen them actually do the same thing. Was it versus IG or
I
something?
quite like
Not sure.
Morphling against all that stuff. I think Morph is quite good against Lycan in lane. Like Lycan offlane does nothing to Morph. Pangolier doesn't like to play against Morph. Troll is not happy against Morph.
They've already got their IO though. Are they gonna move
If
the
it's
IO?
a carry IO, yes.
Yeah.
I'm as I said, I'm just not very sold on his last game's performance, so I would rather see it on a support, but we'll see.
That we shall, dear Black. That we shall.
And if this Shadow Shaman is a position 4, I also rather see Catyu on your Earth Spirits, your Tusks, heroes that go in deep. But yeah, Shadow Shaman is also something that every position 4 right now has to be playing. Brewmaster, if you go back a couple of weeks to the beginning of this league, you can remember that he was almost specifically played on position 5. So that's also something that they can do. IO plus Brew,
Disruptor.
1 and 5, not too bad.
Yeah, yeah. It was a really popular hero for a couple of weeks and then kind of faded away. But LBZS, they feel like it's going to work out for them this time around. Meanwhile, the Disruptor's picked up from EHOME and LBZS respond
Gyro.
with the Gyro.
So I do go for the Gyro in the end.
Iocopter combination.
Yeah. I spoke about it earlier, like this Lycan is really never happy against this combination, especially as an offlaner, you're not going to have high farm priority. So we might just see a pretty useless Lycan in teamfights if LBZS play their hand right. And they don't really have anything to pressure them with.
Position 4 Lycan and put Pango on offlane.
Yeah, sure, why not?
We've seen it. I remember one of the games Kuroki playing even 5 Lycan.
Yeah, or 5 Monkey King.
Yeah,
I mean, they just do whatever they want at some point.
it's not great, but probably we'll see just an offlane Lycan that builds into an Aghanims.
Yeah,
Then you
seems
use
most
that full
likely.
form on Troll, and IO Gyro are strong, but when you get an angry Troll on your booty, it can be a bit difficult to deal with.
Yep, Angry Wolf Troll is not something you want to mess with.
For LBZS, you do have this really good combo with Shadow Shaman, Shackles, Hex into Relocate, which is nice, but they need some... What else do they need? Some extra catch from the mid lane, perhaps.
Do you think they have enough damage? Gyro is like the only damage right now.
I actually, when I was saying that, I wanted to say damage first, but there is a little bit, I guess, from the Gyro. Gyro on his own brings a lot, right?
Sure. But Brewmaster, not really damage. Shadow Shaman, more control than damage. IO as a support, you're also kind of just saving, you know, you don't really want to run in there. I'm a little bit afraid for the damage output, especially if EHOME picks like another tanky core.
Now you see these two heroes that EHOME banned out in the end, like Batrider and Kunkka. Kunkka probably would be...
Yeah, Kunkka has a lot of damage early on, especially.
I would love that for LBZS, sadly banned out.
Yeah.
Is there anything of a similar vein you can see them picking up?
Kunkka is very special in regards of damage because as soon as you hit 6, you have this like 700 damage burst that most heroes would not give you. Even if you pick a DK, they do
Maybe just a
similar
DP
thing.
or a DK.
Wind
Wind
Ranger,
Ranger.
okay, that's damage.
Ooh.
Not my favorite kind of damage, especially against Lycan. Pangolier can disarm you, Lycan will purge you, Troll miss chances.
Glimpse.
It's a tough Wind Ranger game.
A lot
Interesting
of
if they picked
confidence
it.
then from this pick.
I wanna, like, EHOME, if they pick DK now, I think they're gonna be golden. DK crushes Wind Ranger in lane, they need a frontline initiator. Quap. Okay.
It's another one. Same scenario pretty much.
Yeah, but it's a lot more risky, because now we don't really have a frontliner other than Lycan maybe later. But
A little bit of Lycan, a little bit of
Our Quap
Pango.
also lanes very well against Wind Ranger. Like you just
Yeah.
spam Shadow Strike on him, he can't deal with that.
Like Wind Ranger should really suffer in that lane.
Yeah. And against all heroes really, it's not a great pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go EHOME.
Is that a level
Aye.
30 Quap as
Yeah.
well? It's very blue.
Oh yeah.
You know, he has the 100 kills or whatever,
Yeah.
or
Certainly do.
500.
What's it? Yeah, 500 kills or damage
the
or something.
wave.
No, not an upgraded Wind Ranger though. So already we're seeing a huge discrepancy here in the middle lane.
Huge. Yeah, EHOME has to take this game.
It's pretty much set in stone
Crazy.
already.
After
listen,
after seeing the first game and how it went out, even though I valued LBZS's draft more, I have to go with EHOME. I like their draft, and
They're blue. Like look how
they're
blue all of them are.
exactly, but
Damn.
also red at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So they have
angry
this
and calm.
perfect color combination for the perfect execution of this team.
guys, they've lost every game so far, LBZS.
Will they make it a perfect record?
They can come back, guys. They're going to come back. This is the game. LBZS, the sunshine is going to come out through the clouds, and they're going to make the most epic comeback we've ever seen. LBZS are taking game number 2. That is my prediction. Anyway, back to reality. Let's bring in our casters as we've got Beak up on the cast ready to jump into this game. Guys, what are we thinking about game number 2?
Yeah, I feel like this should be an easy one for EHOME. Like the first game was competitive.
Yeah.
I think with this type of a pick that they have, it's gonna be much easier for EHOME to execute. A lot of counter picking. I don't think Wind Ranger is gonna be able to actually do much from the mid lane.
Yeah, gonna be tough
Howard.
there for LBZS, EHOME. You know, I looked into the universe, I did my little Enigma move, and I saw that EHOME were gonna win.
Cowards, both of you. Not believing in the LBZS comeback of dreams. Well, if they do lose this game, they will be eliminated from the tournament with 0 wins under their belt on the upper division of the DPC, which could be pretty tough, but maybe they can do it, but you guys don't think so. Let's hand it over to our casters for game number 2. Beak up on the cost. Take it away.
Thank you, Nomad. Coming into this game number 2, EHOME. You know, maybe didn't go perfectly with Sylar's Ricky, but, you know, you had Chalice who shined like a star. And he was able to keep it all together and get that victory. Now Sylar on Troll. Maybe we see a little bit more from him. I thought he'd be on that Lycan. I was very excited. He's got that Trail of the Burning Doom cosmetic, but he doesn't get to use it as Chalice is on the Lycan. Bit of a different game when you go from Timber to Lycan, that's for sure. So we'll see how he does. Any matchups that scream important to you in these lanes?
I want to see how the mid matchup is going to go. Queen of Pain against the Wind Ranger. Quap should have an upper hand. I just want to see how much of a pressure Queen of Pain get on the Wind Ranger. Also doesn't feel that good of a Wind Ranger game to start with. Playing into Lycan, there's the Purge. There's Disarm coming out from the Pangolier, Mischance, Glimpse. Like a lot of abilities. And remember, this was the last pick Wind Ranger, which is not going to be... I think they're not going to get more out of it. Something that Shaman does not like to play into is Lycan, because he does not deal well with the summons. So you just send the Wolves and the Necro units on the hero. The hero is pretty much dead. Like, you don't have anything to protect him with. Gyro does okay against Lycan and the units with the Flak Cannon, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Right. Didn't we see one time Lycan go like Necro 3 Orchid or something like that? Or even Orchid first, I want to say we saw Lycan go. But I don't really like the Orchid first.
I think you need to check your facts Beak up. I don't think I've ever seen like Orchid rush from the Lycan.
Not rush, but it was definitely like Necro Orchid or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's a thing. You know, being able to deal with a lot of these heroes. So, looks like a decent Lycan game. And this time around, I also want to see Aghanim Scepter on the Troll, because it's just insanely powerful.
I want to see Ags on Chalice. Bite some trolls. Make it very fun to see. I'm always a big fan of seeing the
half troll, half wolf. And I know Nomad was talking about laying the foundation for the LBZS house with bricks and putting it all together. You get half troll, half wolf. Sometimes the wolf can't blow bricks down, but troll wolf,
Yeah,
bricks don't stand a chance.
That's nicely said, B-Cup. Good reference from Little Red Riding Hood. Just kidding.
Wrong.
Yeah, wrong story, buddy.
Story. So let's see how this goes for XM. One of his signature heroes here with Queen of Pain. But I think I'm just going to say that all the time about people and their signature heroes. It seems to be something that I feel like I'm mentioning all the time.
Cat-U faking a TP and then just running away. Guess he was afraid of Troll.
Potentially. And they're going to go in on Naraji with MS throwing out the Rocket Barrage. Deters EHOME a little bit, but Lycan still sitting behind the tower. Fade took a little bit too much damage on that, so he'll back off a little bit. CS there for Chalice. The Wolves will soak up that Rocket Barrage, keep Chalice A-OK.
A very aggressive move from EHOME. Like, you have level 2 Lycan and Pangolier diving at tower, trying to kill Io, something that we don't see quite often. They actually almost got a kill. Mid lane, 11 CS on the Windranger. Queen of Pain only 7.
And XM not getting as much out of this lane as maybe he would like, at least for the moment. And Zhao Fu just having to deal with running away right now from this troll, as they did make the pull, so we'll see Sylar come over. I want to see a little bit more from Sylar this game. I know he's new coming back to the team. He did play a couple of series with EHOME in a different event, but I'm expecting Sylar to be what we've seen from him before in his career, where we feel a little bit more presence from him. And as I say that, they'll go for Zhao Fu. They've got themselves a kinetic field, but the Shackle comes out from Cat-U.
No, he's losing them so much if he doesn't just go to the top and goes for those creeps. And does that exactly. He's bringing some items. Just a Raid Band and a couple of tangos. Brewmaster, we didn't talk about this. You already have a good synergy.
Yeah.
You use Cinder Brew ignited with the Ether Shock, a lot of overtime damage, slow. So that's something they need to be careful about. Sylar also, like, sitting at half HP, needs to be a bit more careful, but so is Zhao Fu. Also wants to get that bottle. Go ahead, B-Cup, saying for the 100th time.
I'm a really big fan of Bottle in the off lane. It's just made an appearance here, and I really enjoy it.
You really enjoy watching those off-laners regenerating from the bottle, picking up the runes, getting the most out of it.
I repeat myself a lot. Stop picking Bottle, and maybe I'll stop
saying
about it. They've got
I
the
can't blame it. It's not your fault. There's going to be a first blood.
At X, they'll get first blood. XM claiming it this time as he gets a little bit of revenge because last game, X got it on him. So that's always nice with a little help from Fade there.
He also picked up the Regen Rune on the Queen of Pain. Bottle is full, level 5 right now. Windranger is level 4. So we're going to see like a shift in this matchup. Queen of Pain will hit level 6 much faster than the Windranger, which means there's going to be much more kill potential coming up from the Queen of Pain. Second, Null Talisman on top of Raindrop. Like, Queen of Pain understands where the damage is going to come from. This Raindrop will save me from the rotations from possibly like Shadow Shaman. If I don't blink in onto Windranger, who has ulti running on me, I don't think like Queen of Pain should die, even if they like rotate 1/2 heroes.
Kinetic field around Zhao Fu. Going for the bounty rune. X-Nova will pick that up and then help out once again. Shackle on to Sylar. Zhao Fu gets onto the high ground. They might be able to get a kill on a Fade here with right click coming in from Raji. But they just disengage, have a little bit of a argument by the bounty rune. Nobody dies.
We see that more often. Just both of the safe laners, when the lane is pushed, trying to contest the bounty. Like, if the lane was pushed into the tower, of course, Sylar's not going to leave, miss out the XP and the gold. But if the lane's pushed in, you can afford to do that.
Trying to refill that off-lane bottle. Very important. Get a couple more sips.
Why is that?
Need that regen. Need to fill that bottle and get that hydration.
Yeah, if you're watching the stream, stay safe, stay hydrated, get some water, get some tea going on. Queen of Pain, big
That's
Sonic
it, man.
Wave.
Yeah, Sonic Wave comes in, gets the kill on a Zhao Fu. Sylar takes out Cat Yu. And that is now 3 kills for EHOME, basically turning the script. This was how it was for LBZS in the first game. They were up 3-0.
This is the type of rotation that you need to be very careful about. Queen of Pain, once she hits level 6, you can't take a fight close to the tower. Like one way to try to do it is like possibly have a high ground ward, so Vindranger can stop the TP with the shackle shot that she does not have a point in. So kind of rough one. But yeah, Queen of Pain, one of the better heroes to just TP rotate.
And that cooldown though, 2 minutes, 5 seconds, maybe in 80 seconds we see the Queen of Pain come over again looking for that Orchid. You want that quick Orchid, it helps you be aggressive. And, you know, that's what we were thinking. Maybe you see that. Necro
Another
3 like
mid
an
lane
Orchid.
rotation.
A lot of trouble here for X as he tries to get out, but they've got the glimpse from X Nova. When you bring 3 heroes in, you're trying to secure that kill, but ooh, XM blinks away, and it's Fade who gets the final blow.
That illusion rune actually almost gave Vindranger an opportunity to survive. Like getting rid of the Thunder Strike, dispelling Shadow Strike.
Almost enough to get some sort of trade. This is really...
We didn't talk about Gyro,
one-sided.
sorry Vika, but yeah, he's on the top of CS board. Let's check the net worth.
He's there. Yeah.
He's up there, you know, top 1.
You don't have to apologize, you know? You just cut me off. I'm always probably babbling something stupid.
I mean, I can't cut you off all the time then.
Hey, well, yeah. Yeah.
Like, because it would just ruin the show. So yeah, just kidding. But back to the bottom lane, Chalices. Level 6 has that shapeshift book already summoned. We can see the rotation. Good map awareness from LBZS. They understand they will make a move. So right now, MS is just farming the jungle with the gyrocopter.
This is the game plan we've seen from EHOME quite often, is just trying to squeeze the map, trying to make just the map smaller and smaller, obviously. You know, this is one of those things that I repeat as well. Bottle, off lane, check. Squeezing the map, also check. I've spoken about both, and I'll try to think of new things to say.
Yeah, shrink the map. Tinker comes to my mind. Shrink the heroes as well. I think that hero has some potential. MS.
Yeah, getting chased here, they'll use that ult, and they'll bring in XM. Call down use EHOME. They'll retreat for a second. Zhao Fu fainting that primal split. They've brought 4 heroes bottom for both teams at the moment. Nobody going down on either side. But XM, it feels like he still wants to make a move. Obviously, he's got that ult to work with. So we'll see if EHOME continue to put the pressure on. They have moved Chalice over to mid.
Trying to possibly force a primal split and just run away. One thing I always say, B-Cup, like that's my thing about the Brewmaster. You do not get stuff done with the first or second ulti. The hero is just going to fall off. I think that's my thing to say every single time I see a Brewmaster. And it always feels like it's true.
Do you think that this Midas, though, kind of helps that maybe not be as true in this game? Or is it just going to be if it's too slow of a Midas, it really doesn't matter?
I don't know if you can afford to get a Midas here. Because, like, Vindranger, she's doing okay-ish, 3 out of 5. Gyro's doing great, but Gyro also does not want to take any fights. Maybe TP rotate, possibly. Just wants to be in the triangle, farm up, has that Mask of Madness done, which will increase his farming potential.
Taking a look bottom, looks like they'll engage here. X-Nova getting chased. Shackle lands, but the glimpse back might keep X-Nova alive. Primal Split is used by Zhao Fu. They've got the Shackle onto Fade. He has Swashbuckle in 5. He may not survive long enough. Power Shot comes in, but it's a miss. Fade now with Swashbuckle available, but the Hex comes in, and Zhao Fu will get a kill on a Fade.
A lot of commitment just to kill that Pangolier. I wouldn't say it's worth it. Pango also will be level 6 after purchasing the Dome, so they will be ready to take another fight. Like, they know that there's no Primal Split now, so rotation, possibly mid lane, no one is there, so I don't think they can make like a rotation on a mid.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Sylar and X-Nova going towards top. They're also going to bring in the Lycan. go here for the gyro. They've got the glimpse, and now Raji getting focused by Chalice while the rest of the team goes after this gyro MS.
This is the difference. Because Disruptor went to 1-3-1 build. If that's like 2 points in Thunderstrike, which is a bit more greedy, a bit more damage, in the lane, it's still a 5 Disruptor. Like, he would not be able to get the glimpse off there. You just would not have the range.
1400 range at level 3, 1800 come level 4. And it just helps them get him right on top of this gyro and pull them all back and split him from the IO. Not really feeling the effectiveness right now of Raji. You know, this IO looked pretty strong in the first game, but not so much so far.
Couple of stacks made for the gyro. We'll farm that up with the Mask of Madness. Flak Cannon maxed out. Even uses the cooldown. That doesn't deal too much damage to the Ancient, but at least it's something. It's a slow. Also, not going for like Maelstrom on the Gyrocopter, which is like really weird. I just love Maelstrom, especially against the Lycan units. Against the Troll, it has a True Strike when it procs. Against the Whirling Axes, of course. It's just a double Yasha into Sanj type of a build. Probably, you know, just queued up one extra.
Yeah, potentially seeing the just Sanj and Yasha. But I'd like to see the Yasha, Sanj, and Yasha.
Definitely not a fan, you know. Or Sanji Yasha, Manta style, and another Yasha. And Yasha Kaya on top of that.
Just gotta build like 8 different blades. That's fine. We'll see if he does it. Maelstrom picked up here for the Windrunner. Going into the BKB next, you've got Queen of Pain, who's finished off that Workin, and it's getting delivered now. So XM will work on the BKB into the Lincolns. I expect XM to maybe look to smoke and fight, or even just join a smoke. As EHOME themselves, they are smoked up and looking towards mid. Cat sitting behind this tier 1, and well, this is going to be pressured by 4 heroes here from EHOME. Ooh, Zhao doesn't have any
Brewmaster's out of mana, yeah, exactly.
Serpent Wards, Shackle, X-Nova. Power Shot misses, X-Nova still ends up dead. They kind of left him to die.
Is investing so much just to kill the supports. They still didn't get like any big core kills. They managed to take down Pangolier with the Brewmaster ulti, now Shaman ulti. Not even close to tier 1 tower on a mid, so you can't even deal damage to him. Need to be very careful when you're playing Shaman, like how you place your wards. Like, it's fine if you get a kill close to the tower, you turn that into some chip damage. It doesn't necessarily need to be a full commitment. Fade just rolling in.
Yeah, just trying to get something done here. Swashbuckle with the Sonic. Wait, that hits all 5 heroes. That's going to come through. They get the kill on Raji as well as Cat U. They've got themselves the Static Storm right on top of this Primal Split. Brewmaster, they'll take out MS. They look over at Zhao Fu, who's just got the Earth Panda remaining. Do they have the damage to get the kill? Yes, they do. Chalice with the double kill. 4 for nil in favor of EHOME. They are up 10-2 and a 5K lead just 14 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and the... I mean, I've said that so many times. You use those 2 splits, you get nothing out of that. You have Hand of Midas. Like, your game's pretty much officially over on this hero. The reason why we don't see him that much, at the start of the DPC season, we saw a lot of Brewmaster 5 combined with the Troll in the lane.
Cat U again. Yeah, just gonna run him down with the Orchid.
Shaman does not have tools to deal with the Lycan. You send the Wolves, you send the Summons on him. He's pretty much dead. And I feel like in this game, LBZS kind of counterpicked themselves. It was the last pick Wind Ranger into the Disarm, into Glimpse. Like, it's just Purge mechanic coming up from the Lycan. Necro Book. It's a tough one. Can they get Fade at least?
Rolling Thunder again. They've got the Glimpse, and that'll keep Fade healthy. What's in a fear right now? Now that ulti is on cooldown. The Focus Fire, well, gonna have to be waiting 60 more seconds for it. They are going Ags on Chalice. He does have the Necro 3. They're gonna relocate in, try to get a kill here onto the Lycan, but they're making the rotation over. Chalice on the run, TP's out, and this will be a missed call down and turn into nothing. Now they'll relocate back top. It's a missed opportunity once again here from LBZS. Not finding the kind of success that they found in the first game. even though they ultimately end up losing that game, I thought there was a lot more to be happy about.
Yeah, that's what I
from
said
LBZS.
before the game. Like, the first game looked much more competitive. Looking at this draft, didn't feel like this one's going to be it. EHOME showing, like, the strength of the draft, the way they execute it. There's the Static Storm on the Brewmaster. Glimpse back in.
Now they've got the Orchid as well. They should try to get this kill onto the Brew, but instead Serpent Ward's used again with the Shackle. They'll Primal Split for this, so they will get one, but here comes Chalice trying to do enough damage on the Cat-U before he TP's out. Unfortunately, won't be able to do so. And now, well, they look over at the Brewmaster, and this is going to be a problem. Jiaofu, like you said, now 2 Primal Splits, maybe even 3 that really don't do much for him as he ends up dead again.
It's a rough one. Like, Brewmaster, once again, they use 2 ultis, Brew Split, Shaman ulti to get a kill on the support. So far, they only managed to kill 2 supports 3 times, and that's it.
Yeah, every core so far on EHOME is yet to lose their lives.
And the easy glimpse setup, it's maxed out. Power of Disruptor against those movies.
Shackle.
Oh, good Shackle.
Fades, can't get the Rolling Thunder off, and it ends up being a kill there for the Windrunner. Now they've got the Shackle onto XM.
Now, that was a dip worthy. Like, his teammates need to dip it there.
Give him some motivation.
Boost his confidence, motivation. Yeah.
That was really nicely done. In a spot where I think a lot of people panic. But no Static Storm leads to that. It was still on cooldown for 30 seconds when they went for that kill. Next is getting there, getting towards that BKB. Bottom lane Chalice. 900 gold away from the Axe. So, almost time for the bite. Almost time to blow down the brick house of LBZS. But LBZS will try to defend the brick house as much as they can, keep the foundation alive, and make something of this game and try to get their first victory in this first season of the DPC Upper Division. They've been close a couple of times, just haven't been able to put the ceiling deal on it.
Not even once. They lost all their games. Didn't get 1 W so far.
Closest one was the lead over Vici, right? In that first series of the DPC.
Yeah, they, you know, I didn't hear too much about this team before coming in. Watched a couple of replays. Was not like too convinced, but seeing the first series was like, wow, man, this team could upset things, and we can see the power of the book against the Wind Ranger Purge on that Wind Run.
Yeah, nothing that X can get done, as XM will focus Cat-U, and then Chalice will focus X. So they get 2 kills there. Chalice still continuing to just do his own thing. Hasn't died this this series at all. 4-0-5 right now. Finishes off the Ags. Now he's got that Wolf Bite. Just take a chunk out of any of your allies, and they turn it into a wolf. It's the cost of doing business. Pound of flesh.
Pound of flesh is the price. DP on the bottom lane from Shaman.
We've seen a lot from Chalice and XM here. I will say this is another game where it feels like Sylar has just been quietly farming. Hasn't felt like anything too crazy from him just yet.
One good fight from EHOME. They turned that into Roche. Like 1 or 2 kills with the Wolf. There we go. Wolf bite.
They're going to go mid once again. They've got themselves the glimpse into the kinetic field. Sylar, he'll move in. He's bit by the Wolf. Pops the BKB. We'll go through to the battle trance. They get the kill on MS, and now they look over the backlines. They get Cat-U as well as Raji. Jiaofu trying to run with Primal Split once again. They will take out X. They'll look for Jiaofu on the back end. And just a couple seconds before he's back to form, EHOME won't get the full team wipe just yet, but X-Nova's looking to get a glimpse and bring him back to the rest of the team to finish off the full team wipe, which they will in fact do. So
I would not be surprised if LBZS just, you know, GG's out after possibly one more fight. They don't have the tools to deal with this Troll. Sylar, pretty massive, especially when he's bitten by the Wolf. A 650 move speed Troll running at you with a PKB just pops the ulti straight away to get the attack speed, gets the lifesteal. Kind of hard to play into right now.
yeah, it's just been a good game from EHOME. All over the place. XM, he'll go into Roche. We'll see if the rest of the team follows. He did pop that double damage, so I assume they'll look to grab this Aegis.
Radiant using a scan. They know. Let's see. It's one of those like desperation smokes. They know there's no troll ulti. BKB will be up online. A wolf bite. What's the cooldown on that? 73 seconds. Not too bad.
That's,
So they will have it once again.
8% cooldown reduction. Such an odd number.
Yeah, that was like 73. Yeah, that has to be the talent.
So there they go. They go Feroched. And they've got themselves an Aegis. Although Sylar, at least on my screen, is not turning into a wolf. I wish he was. Glimpse back on a Jiaofu again, and they get another kill onto the Brewmaster. He went for that Midas, and since then, he has only got 3 of the 4 components of the Ags just 22 minutes into the game.
Yeah, because he's trolling. You know, he does not want to turn into a wolf. They don't have the answer for Sylar right now. Like, the missed chance, I'm not sure where the damage is supposed to come from.
Right.
Shaman doesn't really deal damage. He's more about the control. Gyrocopter, Mask of Madness, Yasha, BKB. Like, BKB is not going to save you against the lineup that they have. There's still a ton of physical damage coming out from the, like, even right clicks from the Queen of Pain, Troll, Lycan. I understand the itemization where you feel like, yeah, I need to protect myself. You know, BKB against the Pangolier. They also have a ton of magical damage, Static Storm, but it's one of those games where even having a BKB does not feel great to have, because mixed damage from the EHOME will take care of that. Sonic Wave, pure damage, piercing through magic immunity, also going to help out quite a lot.
Really tough for LBZS to make much of this game at the moment. It is 4-20. They've got the Hex on a fade, but the glimpse back on MS with the homing missile coming in with the Shackle, so they've stacked up these stuns with the BKB being popped here by Sylar. Goes after Cat, gets the kill on a 1. Xiaofu's used the Primal Split, and they will try to chase these heroes. Chalice has shapeshift in 4, though. How far are you willing to go? Chalice might use that shapeshift, and they will potentially even turn, because they do have a Sonic Wave, as well as a regen rune ready on XM. Call down, Essence Ring. Chalice runs out of it. They've got themselves the Rolling Thunder that does hit onto the Windrunner. The BKB getting low on MS, and it is finally gone. Inside the Static Storm with the Kinetic Field, they have locked up this Gyrocopter. The look, though, as the Focus Fire comes in. They've got the Shackle from Cat,
big
but
Sonic Wave again.
Hits on a 3. They get the kill on a Chalice at the end of the day, and EHOME, with the BKB being popped by XM, will take what they've got and back off of this one. This doesn't exactly go the way that I thought it would.
They got 1 kill on Chalice, managed to kill him in the first death in this whole series, as you mentioned. Like, didn't die on the Timbersaw in the previous game. But yeah, working towards the AC, even more damage. I think EHOME, you know, they're trying to end the game right here, right now, but need to also respect climbing uphill, the shackles, the shackle shot. Brewmaster is just not having a game. He's going for that Aghanim Scepter, which will give him a second Primal Split. Oh, instant truth.
Got the gold. He buys out on it. They have the Hex coming through from Cat U, but there's the Orchid. There's the Silence. And it looks like
turn
Cat
around
U
and
has
use
given up.
Midas. Come on, come on.
Shackle out, but the Rolling Thunder comes in. Cat U will end up falling. Rolling Thunder now hits onto MS. And Fade just continuing to disrupt this fight as XM comes in, and they'll get the kill there onto X. MS has popped the BKB, but he's not really doing much inside the fight. Raji goes down. 3 heroes dead without buyback. They'll look over at MS and take the Gyro's life. Make it 4. Xiaofu survives, but again, it's just with the Primal Split that is used really defensively. He'll try to run, but the duration is over, and so is his life. And a full team wipe once again for EHOME.
Brewmaster did not have his ulti there, but Ags got delivered. He gets 1 charge, pops that ulti instantly. Also, like Gyrocopter playing in so many counters this game, he does not like to play into heroes that get on top of him. Lycan, Pangolier, like even Queen of Pain with like these defensive tools, 10-second BKB, a Lincoln Sphere jumping on top of him. It's just too much for them to actually be able to win these team fights.
Take this bottom set of racks with really no fear that they're gonna lose anything on this. They'll pop the Lincolns on XM. Homing Missile coming through with a power shot, but really, can they go in on this? They really need all 5, and even then, it doesn't feel like much confidence is there for LBZS in these team fights.
MKB down on Troll to be able to pierce through the evasion.
BKBs get popped around the horn. They're going to go in and immediately look for Xiaofu, who dies so quickly. MS on the run, Raji down, 2 heroes gone, buyback used by the IO. MS falls trying to get back to base, and he doesn't have buyback either. They'll call GG. EHOME will take the series 2-0, solidify their spot in Season 2 in the upper division, while LBZS will, in fact, get relegated.
Yeah, that means LBZS and the Magma are out of Division 1. They will need to play Division 2 next season. EHOME stays in. Kind of what we expected to happen, considering how these teams are playing. EHOME didn't do great at the start, but managed to make a comeback with the addition of QQQ. Now Siler's on the team instead of Ajit. They feel better, I gotta say. They feel much better and much more comfortable.
Yeah, they definitely do. We'll see what comes from them in Season 2 with these changes, if there are any more changes to come. But to break down the series, break down the victory for EHOME, send it back over to the panel. Over to you guys.
Thank you very much, B-Cop and Lacoste. And yep, sadly, that will do it for LBZS. They are gone, and well, not a single win under their belts. Sad, sad story for them. Not a great trial, but it's not the complete end of the line for EHOME, is it, Black? Possibly.
Not necessarily, yes. It will depend on if Magma can beat Elephant, which is a very, very tall ask of them.
Yeah.
If they can, however, they force a tiebreaker with EHOME for that spot in the upper division. And if they can't, then Magma is also out.
Yeah. So very, very, very likely that EHOME have now done, but there's a possibility that Magma pull off the impossible, beat Elephant, and force them into a tiebreaker to stay into the upper division.
Look, Magma did win versus LBZS, right? So they do have one win under their belt.
Yes.
And Elephant, they're not in the greatest shape or form, but they still should be able to take down Magma with relative ease. However, we'll see. It's the last game of the league, the last game of the DPC league, and if you're Magma, maybe you have something hidden in store, maybe you're brewing some different drafts, some different strategies.
I feel like we always say that, and then it just turns out to be like 2 20-minute games.
Yeah. I mean, we have to look.
Stop ruining the narrative, Black.
Exactly. You have to cater to the narrative. You have to talk about this that way. Keep the hype going. Don't just Don't talk about what's reality, which is most likely Elephant still, even though they're not looking like themselves, should take it easily 2-0.
But, I mean, yeah, let's stop speculating about the future, but let's have a look at the game we had just behind us here, because this was, once again, a very convincing performance from the side of EHOME. Standouts for you?
I like the Quap the best, probably. Like, his rotations were pretty spot on. His laning was good. His overall decision-making, his item build, everything was very solid.
Now, all 3 cores really on EHOME just played well. Good laning stage. Post-laning stage also very well performed. I don't know about Chalice though, he's good, but he died once this time around. In the first...
kind of a scrub.
In the first, I don't know what scrub feeds like that. In the first game, he didn't feed. This game, 1 death. Unacceptable.
I don't know why he would do that.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
QQQ is going to be eyeing him up, I'm pretty sure, after that death.
10 more laps.
Wanted, a couple more laps around the gaming table for you, sir. LBZS, so, any strengths we could see in this game? Obviously, it was much more brutal than the first game, so harder to stretch for it, but gonna really reach.
No.
Oh.
No, actually, I tried to think about it. Wind Ranger did better in the lane than I expected, but other than that, there was nothing really coming together. They kind of looked lost after the initial laning phase. After 5-6 minutes, they got rotated on by the Quap everywhere. They just couldn't respond to anything.
It's a shame, because when I saw the changes to IO with the spell amp on the overcharge, I actually thought we'd be seeing much more IO copter after that, but this combo never really seems to pull it off. Why is that?
The laning stage itself, if you're laning IO and Gyro, is nowhere nearly as strong as it used to be, and is prone to being just bullied and exploited there, and then later on as well. IO and Gyro still can work, but in this game it cannot, because there are just so many heroes that get on top of you that eliminate the IO or the Gyro with relative ease. You have Lycan running at you, you have his brother Troll Lycan running at you. You have Queen of Pain as well jumping on top of you with pure damage, so it's just very difficult.
What about the Lycanags, though, as you mentioned? You know, we got the Trollcanthrope or the Troll Werewolf, whatever you want to call it, half man, half wolf, entirely ownage. Are we going to be seeing more of that in the major, do we think?
It's good. I mean, Lycanags is one of the strongest acts in the game. It just makes the hero, whoever you buy it, you know, you can't slow him, he crits, you have shared lifesteal between each other. It's a super good axe, and I'm sure if we see more often Lycans.
And it's fun, you turn into a wolf.
No,
Even
not
though
the
we didn't
first
see
time.
it this time,
Not the
sadly.
first time. When he was bitten, he was a running troll.
He had a tail, though.
Yeah, he did have the bushy tail, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen those before, but yeah, it was really problematic and very hard for them to play into. And when that guy's running at you, you know, when he pops a BKB as well, what do you do? Like, there's a point in when they were trying to go high ground, and you know, high ground is known as a hard thing to break. He just turns him into a wolf. He pops BKB, runs in, murders the shaman. Everyone just kind of watches, like as this wolf runs past them, murders their support, and then runs out again, just like
Can't do anything.
Yeah.
cool.
You have to
Guess that
pay
happened.
tribute to the wolf. You know, you're in a village, and I've heard many stories growing up about fairy tales about
Just
wolves.
stories, or?
Just stories,
Okay.
luckily.
Especially around here with the werewolves and
Exactly,
vampires. You know?
Transylvania around us. 1 hour away, literally. So, you know, wolf comes, he takes what he wants and goes away.
So you have to offer the tribute. What happens if you don't offer the tribute?
Then he takes everything.
Your whole village is gone.
Your whole village is gone.
Yeah, gets devoured by the forest.
But if he can do that, why doesn't he do that in the first place?
Because he wants to, you know, just have more
Stable income.
stable income, yeah.
sta-
Stable source
of food.
income, yeah.
But how often does he come? Because if it's
Once
every
a day.
month, then you once a day.
Yeah.
He's- well, that's not sustainable at all, Black. Come on, you got
Yeah, but
like
it's
they don't
fairy
have to
tale.
give you
It's
baby
fairy
every
tale.
day.
It's fairy tale. Of
Fairy
course you
tale,
are.
Yeah.
I see. Wow, they're getting it on in these fairy tales in these villages, producing a baby every single day for the wolf to eat. My
They're
God.
ready.
Anyway, let's have a look at the standings and how everything's sitting right now after this game. And as you can see, poor old LBZS with the 0-7, and EHOME will move up to be 2-5, almost safe. So almost safe. All they need now is Elephant to take down Magma in their series, and they will be confirmed upper division for the next season. Meanwhile, LBZS, they will be swapping with one of these teams down in the lower division. Who could it be? We don't know yet. There's still tiebreakers to come, and anything can happen. So everything's kind of up in the air. We know generally who's going to be roundabout where-ish, but still some tiebreakers to come probably, and of course plenty more matches to come this week. And as we head towards the end of the day, I will of course be asking my panelists that lovely question we always ask them: what have we learnt from today's singular very short series?
Probably the Chinese region is even stronger than I thought before. Like, I knew that they were strong throughout the league. They've proven how strong they are. These big teams, when you see the execution of their moves and what they do, it's really good. But then you see LBZS with 0-7, last in the league. And then you look at different tournaments and you see LBZS just slapping the top of SCA. It's interesting. Maybe Neon didn't play to their fullest, right? But still, losing to a team that just ended last and is going to be relegated. It's interesting.
It very much is interesting. Black, what about you?
If used properly, anger can be a great source of strength. As Chalice displayed. That one death, unforgivable. But we'll have to see what the punishment for that is.
Yeah, now plenty more laps, I would believe, and plenty more beatings from QQQ as he continues to improve this team and shape EHOME into the Goliath of a team he wants it to be. But of course, only time will tell, and we will possibly see them in a tiebreaker, but more likely see them in the upper division next season. It's been a blast for EHOME. Ups and downs, a few more downs than they would have liked, but hopefully we'll be seeing them return to form in the next season. But from today, we are all done, but let's have a look forward to tomorrow and see exactly what series is going to be on our plates ready for us to devour. And it's an interesting one indeed.
It's a good one, yeah. LGD, VG Gaming. VG probably still the heavy favorites after what we've seen recently especially, but LGD can definitely take.
And
they need to take
They
the
need to
game.
take it,
They
yeah.
do.
They
If they
can't.
don't,
It's
yeah.
not they can, they need to. Or they're done.
Pretty much. They're fighting for that wildcard spot.
Yeah.
Everything's on the line.
Yeah, it's between them, and it's between LGD
Elephant.
LGD and Elephant. Yeah, these two teams battling out. They both need a win, and this is going to be a really tough ask for LGD. But they have been improving each time we've seen them. There's a certain possibility they can take down Vici, but Vici just looking oh so strong. What will happen? We don't know. Tune in tomorrow to find out, especially if you jump in on the 4K YouTube stream and do it in pure glorious ultra high definition. But from today, we are all done. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more DPC Chinese action. Bye-bye.
Try to work this out before, but now I'm stronger. Ignite the fire once more, but I don't want you. Tracing city lights, make it right. I don't wanna press play. Ooh, days washing away. Facing nights in the morning, white lies are fading in. Waiting for a sign that takes me back to the beginning. No time for guilt or pleasure. You know I can't do that. I wish that I knew better, Facing nights in the morning, white lies are fading in. Waiting for a sign that takes me back to the beginning. No time for guilt or pleasure. You know I can't do that. I wish that I knew better, Used to waking up in company, but I know you know we won't make it. Packing all my things and leave again. Yeah, I get lost in all I see. All that neon goes on till dawn, leading to an empty dream again. Yeah, facing nights in the morning, white lies are fading in. Waiting for a sign that takes me back to the beginning. No time for guilt or pleasure. You know I can't do that. I wish that I knew better, 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 better. Used to waking up in company, but I know you know we won't make it. Packing all my things and leave again. Yeah, I get lost in all I see. All that neon goes on till dawn, leading to an empty dream, 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 dream. We tried to work this out before, but now I'm stronger. Ignite the fire once more, but I don't want you. Tracing city lights, make it right. I don't wanna press play. Ooh, days washing away. Facing nights in the morning, white lies are fading in. Waiting for a sign that takes me back to the beginning. No time for guilt or pleasure. You know I can't do that. I wish that I knew better, 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 better. Used to waking up in company, but I know you know we won't make it. Packing all my things and leave again. Yeah, I get lost in all I see. All that neon goes on till dawn, leading to an empty dream again. Yeah, facing nights in the morning, white lies are fading in. Waiting for a sign that takes me back to the beginning. No time for guilt or pleasure. You know I can't do that. I wish that I knew better, 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 better. Used to waking up in company, but I know you know we won't make it. Packing all my things and leave again. Yeah, I get lost in all I see. All that neon goes on till dawn, leading to an empty dream, 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 dream. We tried to work this out before, but now I'm stronger. Ignite the fire once more, but I don't want you. Tracing city lights, make it right. I don't wanna press play. Ooh, days washing away. Facing nights in the